stacking my shit to max, man. Get ready.
Max is maxed
I
out.
don't even remember what knobs I have to turn here to get this shit louder. Let's give it a go.
Oh no. Oh my god.
I turned the knob and I could hear my air conditioner in my own ears.
Yeah.
And I decided it would be a bad idea if I said anything.
Oh god.
I think that would have hurt me.
Yep.
I kind of want to.
Yeah, it sounded like
Oh my god.
it suddenly
Okay.
sounds like you're working on a factory floor or some shit.
Yeah.
I mean, if you wait one more session, you practically will be.
Oh great. Is that what? Wait, was that a clue?
Yeah, maybe.
Autobots, get freaky.
Oh,
Damn it! I should have played a Warforged or whatever they're called, the robot guys.
yeah, Warforged.
Damn, that'd have been fucking nasty. That'd have been dope.
Yo, you can set up in case something bad happens.
Real, I've got my backup character. Warforged Bard. La da da dee la da da. How was that guy? Is my pitch good? Someone has to
That was
wrench
pretty-
my
That was
throat.
pretty fantastic.
I'm good.
Yeah, ready.
Good
Mike?
to go here.
Okay, so recapping session 5, starting session 6. So we were making our way to the hidden merchant cave from the Kuotoa village after doing the quest for the Kuotoa priesty wizard guy. We were marching down a tunnel and we came to a doorway. Or rather, there was like a slab on the wall that had a message telling us if we wanted to find the way into the burrows of old, we needed to find the word and, quote, use not the wares. So we instantly, without any management of our own inhibitions, split up and wandered around the tunnels on our own. And occasionally we found holes in the floor of the tunnels that led downward into small rooms, and in each one of those rooms was another slab on the wall that had a word on it. And after finding a handful of these, we had a few words to choose from. Amongst them were, if I remember correctly, slave, information, weapon, and guild. We also found a doorway that was it? I think it wasn't locked. There was actually like a magic force field that was holding us out. But when we got to the door, and after finding all the words, we used the word guild, and the way was open to us. So going through the magic door, we eventually came to a large cavern in which there were all kinds of stalls and small buildings making up a marketplace underground. This was the hidden marketplace of the Northern Underdark called Mantle Dareth. And after walking around for a little bit, we ran into a half-orc merchant whose name was Laurel Crawl. He was offering some pretty pricey stuff, but amongst the things that he was offering was a vial of what he called ink that he thought would be really useful for Goji and her club. And he mentioned that there was a smith, a Durgar smith, not too far away, not in the marketplace, but, not too far away for Underdark distances, who could use the ink and upgrade Goji's club. So she paid, I think it was 20 gold for the ink, and they were making their way to the other end of the market when they were confronted by a group of drow who seemed to recognize them. The drow were very aggressive and were trying to get the nearby security golems to attack us, essentially. And it seemed like they were affiliated with the drow that captured us initially when we were slaves back at the arena area. Sorry, hang on a second. I just had to pop up. One moment. And right when it looked like it might turn to violence, another drow walked up, and this was one that we recognized ourselves. It was the same drow that collapsed the tunnels after the fight in the stream cavern. Turns out he was actually doing us a favor when he collapsed those tunnels, so no further enemies could get through and attack us. Anyway, he talks down the other drow, they leave, and then he invites us to grab a drink with him at a nearby tavern. So we duck inside, take a seat at a table, and he introduces himself. Okay, hang on. I'm going through Mike's notes here. I don't remember if he gave us his name.
It's Jarley.
Jarley, that's right. Okay. But he said he's affiliated with the group of drow who call themselves the Bregan Dareth. Wait a minute. Hang on. Sorry. I'm trying to parse all the names here and make sure I get things right. Mike, you'll tell me if I'm screwing it up. The lady who captured us initially and had us fight in the arena when the Purple Worm attacked was obviously with the Fey Branch House, and his group is opposed to the Fey Branch House for reasons that we're not exactly clear about yet. But he told us that he helped us get out of the situation with the drow in the marketplace, and he gave us directions for where we could find the Dergar Smith. He also told us if we were trying to get back up to the surface, the best path to do that would probably be to work with the Dergar that live nearby in the... Do they have a town or is it a fort? I think it's a town.
As far as you're aware, it is a city.
City, okay. Because they're at war with the drow, and we might be able to ally ourselves with them temporarily to get back to the surface and escape the drow or fight with them against the drow. It's not quite clear exactly yet, but we're going to make our way there. I think we decided in leaving that we would make our way there after we found Goji's smith. He did say, though, that the help that he was providing us was he was going to be looking for something in return, but that he wouldn't be coming to find us for that help until he said we were stronger and more assured in survival, which, reading between the lines, means level up some. This next bit I'm going to read directly from Mike's notes because as I was reading the recap, I was like, I didn't remember this at all. It like completely slipped my mind that this even happened. So,
well, there goes that impact.
Yeah, no, it was just because it had been so long. Like as I was reading it, I was like, oh yeah, that's right. But when I started the paragraph, I was like, what? When did this happen? So we left the tavern, left the marketplace. I think we ended up going northward out of the market. There were a few different exits. Okay, good. I did remember that correctly. We were going to make our way to try to find Goji's Dergar Smith. And as we were leaving, we happened upon, well, not as we were leaving, after we got out of the marketplace and were traveling alone through the tunnels, we came upon a meeting spot where there was a group that had gathered. We were kind of hidden from them when we happened upon the spot, so they didn't detect us initially. We witnessed a gathering between unfriendly drow from before, 4 Rakshasa, and a cloaked and hooded figure that rode upon a seeming... Hello?
Hey,
Did my internet drop? Oh yeah, sure did.
We can hear you.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear us?
I guess it's probably lagging on his end.
Oh, okay. I'll keep going until he's able to get back in. Or maybe I should wait so that he gets the full
We're
recap.
fine now.
You can hear us. Okay, good.
I can. That was strange.
We could hear you the whole time, so...
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I could hear myself, but like a robot. And I wasn't doing the voice thing, so I wasn't doing that.
Very weird.
He was practicing his lyrics.
True.
So there were the unfriendly drow from the market confrontation, 4 Rakshasa, and a cloaked and hooded figure that rode on a seeming horse-like cloaked animal. Everybody in the room, as far as we could tell, was afraid of this cloaked figure. And the conversation between the lead drow and the Rakshasa was occurring. Clearly, a lady is displeased with the doings of House Fey Branch. As the happenings in Mantal Dareth are further revealed by the drow, the figure makes their move, revealing only to the drow their hidden face, which we could not see from where we were sitting. The drow fall upon themselves on the floor, fully fear-stricken. Even the Rakshasa and the trio, us, who saw nothing of the figure, were mortally afraid and unable to aid or retreat. The figure then wields a spear that was not even noticed in their other hand, and slays the lead drow, then retreats back behind the Rakshasa. Before departing through a fiery portal summoned by the cloaked figure, the Rakshasa gives a last warning and instructions to the remaining drow. The sacrifices that were lost must be found and taken. So clearly, whoever we escaped from in the arena is pissed and wants us back. Captured, not like wants us back in a good relationship or something. Anyway, so after the figure disappeared, the drow group split up and ran off very, very quickly into the tunnels. We took a second to loot the one dead drow that the figure slew, and then we proceeded in our journey, hoping not to encounter anything that scary ever again. It was a few hours of travel through the tunnels when we reached a pond that was set up sort of like a shrine. There were animal statues, which I'm sure we'll probably see the map here in a little bit. And there was an anvil of bright bluish, like light bluish light at the center of the pond. And we were able to determine when we were looking at the braziers that were at each statue that there were slim lines of blue fire traveling from them to the anvil and then underneath the anvil. Sorry, hang on, I'm reading as I'm speaking here. 1 second. Oh, right. The smith's name was something Wrathhunter. What was the smith's first name, Mike?
It was
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It was a Bromrul Wrathhunter.
That's right. Bromrul Wrathhunter. And I forgot to mention it earlier, but Laurel, the orc that sold Goji the ink, warned us about his temperament. Right when Goji was thinking of that as they were walking, she noticed a bear trap on the ground. And as we were exploring further, we realized the bear trap was fake and a dummy for another kind of trap on the floor that seemed to be connected to something in the ceiling above them. We managed to get past that trap, and then thinking that everything was copacetic, instantly stumbled headlong into another trap. All three of us, I think the session ended with all three of us looking upward to see a log swinging down at us from above on ropes. And that's where we left off.
Very good. Thank you, Pam.
Yeah. So apologies for the disjointed nature of that recap, because I did not remember a lot of it.
I mean, that's the whole reason I put that up, just in case, so it's not a problem.
Yeah. Incredibly helpful. Thank you.
So before we have any questions and proceed, just a couple of maintenance things.
Yep.
First of all, for Vrisdan, I finally went and made the crossbow bolts that he got from the drow. I actually edited it to where it shows the description of what would happen if he attacked somebody with it. So if you look at your inventory, you should see the capability of the drow special bolts, Max.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay.
There they are.
The next thing is, after talking with Pam, we've decided that Goji's club will be two-handed, which increases its damage up to a D8.
Yeah.
I thought it would be ones. Neat.
That's what I was imagining it as, but I don't think I ever actually spelled
It's
it
a great
out.
club now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And in relation to that, the third thing is, it was brought up to my attention that due to how Fantasy Grounds has the character setup, it was not very evident for Goji on how to select a fighting style. So since level 1, Goji's not had a fighting style as a fighter. Yeah.
No wonder you couldn't level up to level 2. You couldn't even level up to level 1.
That
So,
makes sense.
like I said, that's more of a fantasy grounds thing. It didn't make it clear. So I went ahead and went to his character sheet, and under abilities, in the features section, I put the fighting grade style, and I went ahead and selected the great weapon fighting
Yeah.
style, which is the two-handed.
Awesome.
So you can look into it by clicking on the little dragon
Oh,
thing.
nice.
But basically, it's if he rolls a 1 or 2 on a damage roll, he can roll that die again and then take whatever that results.
Sweet.
So long as it's a two-handed weapon.
Yep. Awesome. Okay. So if I switch to the crossbow, that won't apply.
I mean, I would
Although
say
I guess
it would
crossbow
because
would be
it's
two-handed,
two-handed.
isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions before we start?
Nope.
Okay.
No.
Well, as Pam stated, we find ourselves with the log very quickly approaching somebody's face. I'm pretty sure it's at the very least Goji. Goji
yeah.
cannot
take this
dodge
thing in
it
the
because, well, considering you got a critical fail on
Mhm.
detecting this trap, I would say you kind of have to. As for the other two, I will give you both the opportunity to do an attempt to dodge it with disadvantage. If you want to use a skill that you think feels relevant to it, go ahead.
I don't think I've got any skill, so I will just do whatever sort of roll you're asking for.
Just do a d20
In athletics or
with
something?
disadvantage.
I think I've got a thing, a monk thing.
You stole my nat 20. I'll never forgive you.
Let's see how this works.
That's cool.
Because I can use a key point to take dodge action. But it says as bonus action on your turn. Obviously, we're not in battle, but
Okay. Yeah. Okay, sure. So, with an 11, you will take that hit as well. But as the log is swinging down, it collides with Goji first of all. And the momentum is too fast to allow Vrisdan to dodge it. So, he takes the back swing from the collision of Goji. But somehow, with his monk-like skills, Futon manages to dodge out of the way. And miraculously, though, it seems like none of you take any damage.
What?
In fact, Goji is healed by 3 points.
What the? Okay. Cool. Thanks. Crazy log.
And as two of you are sprawled on the floor, and the log that's hanging off the ceiling swings back and forth, you detect a faint odor stemming off of the log.
Well, Goji's gonna stand up and dust herself off and say, "Wow, I feel great."
You should get hit by tree trunks more often.
No kidding. Is this what it feels like when I hit somebody with my club? Which one of us was there? One of us specifically that noticed the smell on the log?
No, it's all three of you. You can all smell this faint odor that's not natural coming from the log.
What kind of would it be, like a perception roll to see if I can detect what it is?
Yeah, or natural. nature if you wanted.
A nature roll. Okay, let's see. How's my nature? My nature sucks, but it does seem to be more appropriate than perception, strictly.
Wait. Ah, damn it.
I gotta remember to just wait for the guidance.
Yeah.
Uh,
May I
with-
apply guidance? Because I would have done it. I was just trying to do
Go
it
ahead, go ahead.
through fantasy.
Yeah.
game.
Just roll it.
Oh. Yeah, just roll a d4, Pam.
Okay, 1 second. 13.
With the 13, you can detect that you vaguely recognize this odor to be kind of like one of the potions you drank in the past that made you feel better.
Okay. Smells like a health potion, Goji will say to the other two. Well, mystery unsolved. For some reason, this dude armed traps with health potions on them.
Okay. I don't know if you guys are unlocked to be able to see move your tokens, but here's the map.
Okay.
Now, I
we
was
can move.
gonna tell you not to do that.
okay, fair.
God
I
damn
was
it.
testing. I was testing for you.
Well, you practically can't move now, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but that's what
Not
I figured.
practically. I cannot. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're stuck. Yeah, you're stuck in that location. Hold on.
Did you
Was there
trigger another
pit?
trap?
That was a trap.
My bad.
No, it's cool. It's cool. Now let's see. There we go. All right. So what I was going to say is, I would recommend you guys like alternate who leads and move as a group, and try not to speed through.
Okay.
Maybe go a few squares, see if you get any natural perception rolls happening, or if
Yeah.
you're trying to be sensitive.
Well, I mean,
and
if all the
do actual
traps have
checks.
beneficial effects, I'll just clamber. I'll just bumble my way right through, step on everything. Okay, Goji was going first before and got healed 3 points. Anybody wanna take a?
No, put those extra 3 hit points to use.
Okay.
Okay. You
Right
stop
here.
there.
Yep.
Here. Oh, wow. As you roam forward, you spot another tripwire right in front of your feet.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry, I just kicked my table. Does anyone have any kind of disarming skills? Lock picking, trap disarming? I don't think I do.
I have a crossbow. In some ways, the same thing.
It would work. I think the
should've-
closest one that you have is your monk, with nothing really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Goji's gonna point out the tripwire, and if it seems reasonable that we could all carefully step over it, that's what she's gonna do.
You can.
Okay.
All right.
Alright, she's gonna stop right here and do
Okay.
a perception roll to see if she can detect anything within, whatever radius you think is appropriate.
Go ahead.
God damn it.
Womp womp. Add a d4, you got guidance.
Oh, that's right.
I even did give it to you this time, and it didn't do anything.
I think it goes
Oh, it-
by one roll at a time.
No, it did. It had +2 there for. Oh wait, no, that
Oh,
was my
did it?
that was my
So
perception
that's
roll.
from your
Yeah, I
perception.
thought that was your perception.
So
I think
7
it probably just
total.
goes by one roll at a time.
But I did crit fail that roll, so.
Well, you look around and you see that there are 2 passages going forward, and to the right you see only foliage and a little stream next to the wall, and to your left you see just a passage going further forward, and you see nothing else of worry or note.
All right. Does somebody else want to go in front? Because I feel like I'm going to get us all killed with my terrible rolls. Anyone? I'll just keep going, I guess. Uh-oh.
Did you stop right there?
I'm blind.
Yep. Well, you tripped the next trap. So, as you stopped there, you moved forward closer to the stream, and as you take a step underneath of a fairly large round rock, you hear a click, and it resounds throughout the passage.
Uh-oh. Oh, I'm not blind anymore.
Yeah, you tripped it. You tripped the trap. You technically you fell into a pit,
Oh, God.
and then I had to toggle it off.
Okay.
Um,
So do they see me,
Ep-
or am I like, I just fell into
No,
the floor?
well, it's just the mechanic of the fantasy grounds. That's all it is. That's just the best way I could figure out how to put traps in here.
Oh, yeah. That's fine. I'm just wondering, can my party, like, did I just disappear into the floor?
Nope, nothing else happened other than a click that resounded, and after a few seconds, nothing occurs.
Okay. And did we all hear the click, or was it just me?
Everybody heard the click.
Oof. Okay. Goji's gonna sit down on the floor and just wait. She's not gonna touch anything or look at anything. All she's done so far is trigger traps.
A little ahead then. And have
Okay.
a better look around.
Hold on 1 second. Okay. You naturally look around as you're stepping, and you notice that there is another very large round rock one step to your left.
Like the one that Goji stepped on.
No, it's a different one.
Okay. No, I mean like it.
Yes, it's like the one that he stepped on, that she stepped on.
I'll tell her there's another one here if she wants it.
No, thanks. But I'll know to avoid it now.
So as you look around, you see that the
None
corridor
of us wanna
opens up to
move.
your right and left. More foliage, rocky bottom for most of it. There's a stream going down to your south.
Goji will follow whoever wants to take the next step.
Well, the flat circular rock, you can see where it is,
Mhm.
so you can determine whether or not you want to go around it,
Go around.
step on it,
Yep.
see what's underneath it.
Oh, see what's underneath it. Well,
Mhm.
the last one clicked, right?
Yep, last one clicked.
I don't think Goji thinks she's smart enough or dexterous enough to touch that thing without making it just click again, like do the exact same thing. Maybe one of the other party members is curious, but she is once bitten, twice shy, I think, with clicking rocks.
Vrisdan has no interest in it either.
I'm gonna do another perception roll for this new location I'm in.
Sure.
Sound fair?
Yeah. Yep, go ahead.
And if guidance still applies, I'll... Oh my god.
I
It does
mean,
not. I gave it to
Oh, okay.
Futon because he went ahead.
Alright, my shitty 6
with the
then.
6, you have a very similar outlook as you did previously, where you see nothing wrong other than the normal foliage, the rocky outcroppings, and you look back and you tell your group, all clear.
Oh, great. The me not see nothing. Keep going.
Well, I'm gonna stay and
Okay.
carefully.
Stop right there.
You guys are just gonna carry her carcass to the surface after all this.
Okay.
Vrisdan feels
13.
he has taken and given his fair share of beatings down here. It's time for you to pull your weight.
13. Yeah, with the 13, you look down and you happen to see another little rock that seems similar to one that you stepped on.
Okay. She can point it out to the rest of the party and go around it?
Yep, you can do that.
All right, that's what she's...
1 second.
Yep.
There we go.
That's what she's going to do, then.
Could you give me 1 second, please?
Yep. I still get excited about how line of sight works in this map tool. It's really cool.
Okay. Please go on ahead. Whoever wants to move, they can.
Okay.
I should play cantrip.
Oh, look at you guys speeding along. I'm gonna stop on a dice roll.
Goji hears the clinking sound of polymer inside her head.
Well, I wanted to be sure that Mike wasn't gonna, say something related to the dice roll. So,
as you enter this little T section, straight ahead of you, slightly obscured by the foliage, you happen to see a little wooden sign, and on it, it says in very scratchy and large letters. And when it says that,
okay,
it has a little arrow underneath the wording pointing to your left.
So that would be
northward on your map.
This direction.
Yes.
Okay. Come on. That's it. You got nothing.
That was the best I could muster.
Okay, so the long cut, unless this is some clever reverse psychology, is northward, which means the shortcut is westward. Okay, if I stand right here at the intersection and do a perception roll, will that be useful?
Go ahead, give me a perception roll.
I'm gonna be looking both directions and see which one seems to make the most sense from a trap detection and general fuckery position.
Mm-hmm.
You've got guidance.
All right.
Did it apply previously automatically? I feel
No,
like
it didn't.
Didn't it?
And maybe in
never done
previous sessions, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that would be a 17 total.
With the 17, you look to your left, to the northward direction, and you see that up the little steps that you can barely manage to see. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm looking with the vision of Vrisdan. Goji, looking upward, you can see some steps to the north,
Mm-hmm.
and on those steps you see another little circular rock. And when you sweep your gaze and look to the right, instead, you see that the ground right before the steps that way looks kind of off. Like it's kind of stretched somehow.
Oh, would I be able to tell if this is some kind of magical effect, or is there like a something on the ground that's covered with a surface, like
With the 17, I would say it does not appear to be magical.
Okay. All right. So, and just to be certain, these rocks that we're seeing that look like the one that made the clicking sound, they all, to our eye, appear to be intentionally natural looking, right? Like there's nothing that would indicate, hey, you need to press these rocks to be able to open some door. It's more like these are hidden so that somebody will accidentally step on them and trigger something, right? Is that something we would be able to deduce?
You would need to give me an insight roll for that.
Okay.
I think I've discovered what I want my soundboard thing to be. You've got mail. I'm going to do it every time I give someone guidance. You've got guidance, Goji. Not that it's going to help with that.
No. Okay.
Let's say you got guidance and you got a 10 out of that.
Yeah,
with a
9.
10,
yeah. Okay.
With a 9, You can deduce that somebody was attempting to hide something.
Okay.
Past that, you can't determine anything.
All right. So it's not clear if the rocks are trap triggers necessarily, or some means of accessing something that would otherwise be hidden.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. All
Where's the one you're looking at, Goji?
There's a rock here, and then there's the ground looks weird and like stretched or somehow bizarre over here.
Mm-hmm.
Vrisdan is gonna wander on over to that rock, and he's gonna use the pointy rear end of his warhammer and try and lift it up.
Ooh.
Okay. You lift it up. How are you just trying to like see underneath it or flip it over?
Yeah, like a kid looking for bugs under a rock. He just wants to see what's
Okay.
under there.
You lift it up, and with your natural dark vision and the lighting, you see that underneath there seems to be some kind of mechanism, but past that you cannot tell without lifting the rock.
Okay, yeah, I'll like shift it over to its side and set it away from the mechanism so I could see more of it.
Okay. You move aside the rock, and you see this little mechanism that is buried into the ground, and it seems to be like some kind of pressure plate. Past that, you cannot tell what else it would do without interacting with it.
It's another clicky do, gang.
Yeah. What would
Dare
be
me to
the
press?
what would be the purpose of having a trigger? I mean, if we've already set off one of these, but it didn't seem to do anything. What would be the purpose of having all these pressure plate triggers if they don't actually activate something?
Could just be the noise. And let people know you're here. Could be it activated something way ahead from where we are.
Ah, that's true. Like somebody's control room, there's alarms going off or something. All right. Well, gang, the long cut is northward. The weird floor is eastward. Which direction do you want to try to go?
I want to get out of this pit, please.
Would that be northward then?
No, when I went over to investigate the rock, I fell in the air quote pit. That
Oh,
was
I apologize. Yeah.
No, that's okay. I didn't want to interrupt the flow when we were doing that. I mean, from where Vrisdan is, it seems like there's a small chamber there, and then it veers off to a different area. So we could check out this long cut room and then double back around if it seems like it's a real, long trap.
Sure. Okay.
Goji, you've got man.
Yay. All right, then at the entrance of the room here, I'll roll a perception check with guidance. Does that sound fair?
Go ahead.
Mr. GM.
Mm-hmm. The wizard says yes.
No guidance, though. Okay.
That's good. Yeah.
20.
Oh, it could. I'm not sure. It could be because you're not in combat, so it's not applying it. I'm not
Maybe.
certain.
Oh, yeah, maybe if it's like not your turn, it's not registering your perception checks as like an action for the. Yeah, that'd be. That could
Okay.
be the case.
So you look around the room, you see that it is an enclosed space, that there is some minor glowing rocks to your right, and straight ahead of you, there seems to be this large geode of purple hue that gives off a glowing light. And from that light, you can see that there are distorted shadows right in front of it and you.
Ew.
At the ground, it seems like there seems to be like some kind of similar image as what you saw towards the west of you previously, or to the east of you.
Where the floor looks distorted somehow?
Correct. Yes.
And about, like, how far out from the geode is that does this distortion stretch? Like, if I move forward one square, would I be stepping on it?
No. It would take you 2 squares.
Okay.
So 10 feet.
So if I go, like, here, I'm not It would
You're at the very edge. Yes.
be like here.
Yes.
Sorry, there's a banging sound from somebody that's doing something outside my house.
Now that you're aware of it, as you get closer, you can see that there seems to be like some kind of tarp that is covering the ground and made to look a similar color of the ground around it. And on the very edge of it, you can see a little lip of the tarp going upward, and underneath you can see a little bit of a shine, as if the shine of weaponry.
Ideas, anyone?
Move that tarp.
Alright, Goji's gonna see if she can't pick up a corner of the tarp and pull it aside.
Vrisdan will be at the ready with Warhammer.
You move the tarp aside, and as you do so, the far edge of the tarp caves in to what is actually a pit. And as you remove the rest of the tarp, you see that the pit is about 10 to 15 feet in depth.
Holy
And at
shit.
the bottom, it seems as though that it is lined with spike traps.
Oh my god, that thing would have killed us.
What have hurt?
Whew. Okay. Does it seem possible to get around the trap with, like, to get to the, check out the geode without risking a fall?
Yes, you can get around the pit to get to the geode. You look into the geode and you see that
You guys want to
due
come
to
up?
the lighting, it's not as deep as you thought it might be. So it does not seem like this is, as the sign said, a long cut, but more like a long cut of what you would have fell into.
Oh, very clever. I get it.
Are you asking me up, Goji? Are you asking me to the geode?
Yes.
Sure. We'll go around the other way then. We've got it. What's it called? Flank. That's the word I'm looking for. We've got it flanked.
We've got it surrounded.
No, there's no egg on us now.
Sorry, this knocking is obnoxious. I'm trying to keep my mic muted when it's happening, but
It's very quiet on our end, at least for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think you two will
I'm gonna
agree with
break
that.
in.
But
Oh.
oh my god, you guys hear this?
Other
It's
idea.
insane. It's literally the loudest thing in OBS right now. Whenever this guy does this.
Oh, wow. Discord is putting in work there.
So you take a closer look at the geode. It's seeming just like a normal, unmagical, large geode of amethyst. And as I said, the center of it is not that deep. The lighting made it seem deeper than it was from the cave entrance. And you look around, it's just foliage and little rocks, mushrooms, and just the pit.
It's just an enticement
the
for a
mushrooms
trap,
walking.
then, you think, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Did you say are any of the mushrooms walking, Max?
Yeah.
You don't see any of the mushrooms making any kind of
Thank
forceful movement.
That's good.
Vrisdan will raise his hammer as if to test the durability of this geode and look to his two companions if they want to stop him.
No, I was actually just thinking the same thing. Can we bust out any of this amethyst?
Mm-hmm. We'll have something.
You could if you wanted.
Not
Well, I
every
wanna
day you
test
see a
it first.
big
I don't want to like
amethyst
just straight
geode.
on crumble it. So Vrisdan's gonna use his warhammer to give it a tap, like a little more forceful than you'd knock on a door. He's not trying to like break it, just see, if it reacts, if anything happens when he does so.
You do a little tap, and The geode itself does not seem to collapse on itself. The one that you were testing on gives a little quiver. Outside of that, nothing else happens. It seems like you would need to do a more forceful attempt to remove it.
Okay. Last test, and then Vrisdan is fine crumbling this thing apart and gathering up as much as we can. He's gonna take off whatever sort of glove he might wear and grab one of the crystals on the inside of the geode with his bare hand and see if that does anything.
You touch it and nothing happens other than getting a cool feeling in your hands of what you would expect from grasping an amethyst.
Okay. In that case, Vrisdan will give his hammer to Goji and sort of mumble to himself, I've never known anything in the Underdark to not have the possibility of being poisoned, so pardon my caution.
Okay.
But get breaking, I
kinda
guess.
warranted.
Yeah. And Vrisdan will give Goji guidance and take the help action if there's any way he could help, break this thing down if any
Okay.
roll is needed.
Should this be a roll then?
It like how careful are you trying to be not to break it all apart?
I don't want to break the whole thing apart, right? Like, I'm just thinking if we each walk out of here with a cool little chunk of amethyst, that's pretty, especially if it's glowing amethyst, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, like a chunk, for Vrisdan at least, a chunk like big enough to fit in both hands, like a large bowl kind of thing.
No, I don't think you need to do a roll for that.
Okay.
You look for the biggest pieces that you can find that would not break apart on a few well placed swings, and you do so, and you come out with, let's just say, 6 pieces of solid amethyst, and you add it to your inventory.
Sweet. You guys want to take 2
Um,
each?
Yeah, go ahead and put 2 amethysts for each of you, and just write it in. Let me see how it would go.
Need to find out how to spell it.
Actually,
Oh, it
let's just-
alphabetizes it for you.
let's
That's
just do
cool.
this.
I think I just did it. I think I'm good.
Well, I was just gonna make a new one. That way, you have a gold amount to go off of.
Oh.
Material.
Oops.
How big are we thinking for these amethysts? Just a good hand
I'm thinking
Like, just
something.
shy.
hand size.
I'm
For-
thinking something like a couple inches shy of a foot. Like,
Oh,
Okay.
big enough you
damn.
can hold with 2 hands. Decent big.
Okay.
Okay. Then and for that much, I would say that they are all 1.5 weight. Okay. I should have shared that to you. Go ahead and add that to your inventory and put 2 of those in there. That'll have the weight and the gold amount.
How do I add it to my inventory?
You
Just
drag the
click
little
on the
dragon.
little dragon thing and drag it in.
Oh. And there it is. Nice.
And then just put it to, you have 2 of them on the little, underneath the little number thing.
It did that automatically, it looks like.
It seems to me like you only have 1.
I'm seeing 2 in my inventory. Oh. Maybe those are the 2 that I... How do I get rid of those then? Hang on.
Do you see
right
the little
click and then
pencil?
Down and
Oh,
left. there's a
trash
little
can.
Delete. Yep.
Yep, okay. Alright, I see. Gotta make it 2 then.
Okay, so you each have 2 solid-sized amethysts, each
Mhm.
worth 200 gold pieces.
Nifty. Whoops, I just duplicated it. What the hell? God damn it. Okay, cool. Thanks. I don't know why I'm saying thanks. I'm the one that carved him out of there. But here's your hammer back,
Oh,
Vrisdan.
you should be thanking Vrisdan if anybody.
Thank you.
All right, making my way around the trap, back to the intersection.
Tan,
As
what
you
kinda... Sorry, you first.
as Goji was going around the pit back to the entrance, you catch a slight distortion out of the corner of your eye, Goji. And as you turn back into the pit, you see that the spikes at the bottom of the trap seem a little off.
What?
Oh, that's perfect. That's what I was just gonna ask about.
Okay.
I was gonna ask, yeah, what kind of spikes are they? Is it like,
They
they put whole
appear to
spears
be
down there?
they appear to be like a triangular metal, possibly iron piece that's been set up to puncture whoever happened to fall into the trap. But
Okay.
as you
Is
look
this
more
like a...
close, I'm sorry.
Nope. Sorry, you first again.
As you look more closely, after Goji goes back to check on it, you all look more closely, and it seems like the spike traps are not exactly what they should be. They don't seem as metal as they should be, even with the shine that they gave off.
Are they Are they an illusion? What the hell? Everything down here is weird.
Do either of you two have oil for like a lantern or anything?
No.
I think it would make sense that I would, because I do have a... Oh no, I have a torch. Oh, rats.
Yeah.
I've got that ink, but I'm not going to use that.
No.
I
I was
wanna
gonna set it
find
on fire.
I want to find a
Mm.
stone on the ground and kick it in.
I mean, we do
Okay.
have a torch. Try to... Can you reach it with a torch from where we are?
The pit is 10 to 15 feet.
Oh,
below
yeah,
you.
yeah.
It's pretty down there.
See what
We
happens
need
when
a
the rock.
pole to be able to reach that thing.
So you are going to throw the rock in?
Yeah.
You toss the rock in, and as it hits the one part of the pit at the bottom, you see that it seems to like cave into the floor more than you were expecting. And the ground where it hit seems to draw itself in further, and towards the edges away from where you drop the rock, you can see that it seems to be another tarp that's being pulled away from the wall, and at those edges you see what looks to be like straw.
And did anything happen to the spikes when the floor did that weird thing?
As you make note of that, you look more closely at the spikes, and you see that it seems to be like they're caving in, pulling into where the little rock fell. And it's as though the tarp itself is what those spikes were.
This guy's really into tarps.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anybody want to jump down there and see what happens?
I was thinking it. And if we were all like, okay, let's go, I would have been like, okay, yeah, I agree, let's go. There's no reason for me to confirm what we already know, but it sounds so fun. Vrisdan puts his shield on his back and two hands his warhammer and drops into the pit, and as soon as he touches the bottom, he swings down into the ground.
You swing down and you impact the tarp, and it just causes it to flutter and fly up around you as you make the rest of your landing. And you feel nothing but the soft hit of hay. And the tarp settles around you, and as the others gaze down upon you, they only see that you landed on a little pit of hay. And you see that the little glowing that you could tell before was actually just little glowstones that made it seem as though it was metal.
All right, I'll pick up one of them stone.
Yeah, go ahead and
We're
add
all
in
unintelligible
a
to
little
each other.
glowstone. It's just a little white glowstone that gives off a very slight glow. 0.1 weight.
How many of them are there?
Oh,
Down
there's a lot of them. You can't really count them off without taking some time to like sort through them. But there's at the very least 30, maybe 50.
Vrisdan will throw 3 up out of the pit and then throw 5 in his bag.
Okay.
What kind of condition is the tarp in? Is it torn to shreds, or is it like just laid to the side?
Since Vrisdan just dropped down with blunt objects, there's no tearing or anything. It's just caved into the little padding of the hay underneath them.
Okay.
So hopefully one of you has rope.
I do. Yep.
Okay.
I can throw it down.
Because that would have been an interesting conundrum that you just landed in.
Yeah. Is there
You
a
can climb 10 feet.
is there a anchor point that I could tie the rope to, or do
Well, if your
Futon
rope
and
is
I
long
need to
enough,
just
I guess you can
tug it?
If your rope's long enough, I guess you can just loop it around the geode.
Yeah, it's well, let's see. It's 10. It says it's 10 pounds. It doesn't say how long it is in the
Let's
inventory
say
here.
it's long enough that if you wanted to, you
It's
could.
50 feet normally
50
if you
feet.
got from,
Okay.
Oh,
like,
then
starting
yeah, then you
equipment.
can just use the geode to use it as an anchor if
Yeah.
you wanted.
Okay. I'll tie it around. Goji's going to tie it around the geode securely, and then toss the loose end down to Vrisdan.
Vrisdan scrambling up out of that thing like a little centipede or something.
And then, assuming that I can recover the rope, I'll untie it once he's out and coil it up and shove it back in the pack.
Sounds good.
Okay, back to the intersection then. What a
Mhm.
weird... This guy, whoever set these traps, I question why he would bother to go through the trouble of all of this work, but...
They're clearly not a drow. These are some pussy-ass traps.
Okay,
I mean, it's not wrong.
same deal here. Grab a corner of the tarp and try to lift it up.
Sure. You lift it up by a corner, and you see that there is a more intricate little pressure plate than what you saw previously when Vrisdan was moving aside the little rock.
Okay, but something that can be easily stepped around?
Yes, if you chose to.
Okay.
Hold on.
Oh,
Too late.
yep.
You take a little too far of a step, and you step on another large little circular rock, and it produces another click that
God
resounds
damn.
throughout the corridor.
I'm 2 for 2 on clicking rocks.
If we're on a 3 strikes you're out basis, Goji, you're really taking down the team here.
I did detect 1 clicking rock, or maybe 2,
You did.
without stepping on them, but...
To be fair, yeah, we've had you in the front the entire time, so
Yeah.
all our successes and our failures rest on your
And
back.
I've been rolling 1 after 1 after 1.
After,
The
after a
17
few
one, that's
seconds,
pretty good.
Yeah. After a few seconds, nothing happens after the click.
Okay. Okay. Well, now we're at a new corridor. I'm gonna do another perception roll, just stationary,
Okay,
trying to get a really good look. Oh, there's a door up there, or at least on the map, there's a little door. Can you guys see that? Can you mouse over the edge of the corridor up ahead?
They have to move.
I'm not far enough ahead.
Yeah.
Oh! My big ass is blocking your view.
No, Vrisdan is waiting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Perception roll, Chief. Does that sound good?
Go ahead.
You got guidance.
Got guidance. I'll throw guidance on there. 9.
A lot of 9.
Okay. With the 9, you look around and you seem to notice at the last instance that the ceiling above you seems to be to have a line going through it. And as you follow that line, you can see that it goes into the walls as well, but only halfway down the wall from the ceiling.
And when you say a line, is it like a crack in the stone, or is it like a...
Yes, it's a crack in the stone. It's got enough of a depth that you can see that something could go through that crack.
Some kind of sliding blade is going to come down and cut my head in half, isn't it?
Well,
okay.
with the 9, I can't say whether or not you're right or see anything.
That's just what
else other
Goji's
than that.
thinking out loud. She's like, oh, God. Okay. So, Goji's going to point out this crack to Vrisdan and Futon, and then when she passes by the space where the crack is, she's going to keep herself crouched down so that the top of her head is below the lowest point of the crack on the walls, if that makes sense.
Okay. I'm sorry.
That's a bad
So-
sound.
GM
GM just cackles maniacally.
Well, you can thank Max for that. Goji, give me a stealth roll.
Oh, okay.
You do not have guidance for this one.
That's okay, because I'm not a very stealthy person anyway.
I believe in you.
Oh, I got a +1.
With my heart and soul.
Oh, did I accidentally roll advantage?
No, it's you're encumbered by your equipment.
Oh, you
Oh,
wear heavy armor?
yeah, I do.
So
let me
with
see.
with the 3,
I think.
you try to crouch underneath the line, and you do so. But as you do so, you fail to notice another little pressure plate underneath you, and you step on it, and you hear this click, but a much more resounding one than the
Oh,
previous
God.
ones. And as you look down above you, you hear this swinging of metal as it swings downward, and you kind of fear looking up, but you do anyway. And you look up to see this swinging blade going back and forth between the walls above you, and it does not come close to you as you were crouching. And behind you, Vrisdan and Futon just see this massive blade just swing back and forth right above Goji's head while they are crouched, but it does not even come close to touching them.
Whew. I was going to say, I think Goji's middle name now can be failed to notice. That's all she's done. Okay.
So the trap continues to swing, but it was designed in such a way where if anybody wanted to, they can crouch underneath it.
Huh. What a friendly trap designer, this guy. He's like, yeah, it might take your head off, but come on. Look what I did for you
Using
guys.
real metal this time, at least.
Yeah, it's not a
Okay.
tarp.
Mhm.
Okay.
It's just a tarp
So
sliding back and
before
forth.
somebody does something, do not click open the door.
Okay.
please.
Got it. I wouldn't do that without asking.
I still don't think I see the door.
I'm gonna crouch
It-
below.
If you hover
Barely.
over where you can see
The
the
end of the
door.
corridor, there's like a little blue line when you hover, and then a door icon
Yeah.
pops up.
Yeah, I did know.
Okay, so as you all crouch underneath the trap and get closer to the door, you look up at the door, and the door is a wooden door, with a little handle on it. And at the top right of where you're looking, you can see a weird little slate that reveals just a little wooden panel. And that's all.
Is that a panel that we can open, or is it something that opens from the interior of the room on the other side of the door?
You look at it, and it seems like it opens outward from the interior of the
Like a
little doorway.
Peephole or something.
Kinda.
It's built. It
But
is.
no.
Wait, did you say it's built into the door or it's built into the wall?
It's built into the little wall of the door.
Oh, okay, okay.
Um,
What do you guys think? Should we knock?
Okay.
All right. I don't have a knock sound effect, so this is what it sounds like when
That's the
Goji
man outside.
knocks on something. Oh, very good. Yep, we'll use that sound effect. That was great. Did you make that
Yeah.
yourself?
I just knocked on my desk.
Oh,
I turned my microphone around and
there you go. Okay.
Mhm.
I should have been so
Okay.
clever.
You knock on the door, and nothing seems to happen after a few seconds.
Well, we tried being good guys. Let's break in.
Is the door
I
locked?
bit my tongue.
Can we try it?
You can try it.
All right. Grab the handle and give it a good firm turn.
When you do, you find that it is indeed locked. But as soon as you press downward on the handle, the little plate that you saw actually swings out and down. And where it was, you see a big painted 5. And then it swings down again. And you see a big painted 4. And I don't know if you guys want to do something.
Yeah,
but-
I'm gonna
and
back
it swings
up.
down.
Crouch
And
under
you
that
see a
blade.
big painted 3. And again, you see a big
Just around the
painted
corner.
2. And again, and you see a big painted 1.
Vrisdan.
And
Oh,
finally,
Shield up. I'm
and
calling
finally, as the 1 falls down, you hear this high-pitched, squealing scream going, boom! Because I don't want to yell out in
Sure.
your ears.
That's fair.
And right after the big boom, after a few seconds, nothing happens. But in that same high-pitched voice, you hear laughing behind a door. And then you hear the door being unlocked.
What the hell is this guy's deal? Jesus.
So, if you choose to, you could potentially open the door now.
Okay. Vrisdan, since you're closest, do you want to do the honors?
I do. Can I click it now?
Yeah, you could click it now.
Let's go.
Yeah! Whoa, check that
I'm the
out.
door clicker.
What a cool
You
thing
step
to do.
through the door, and as you step in, you see a little bonfire with some benches on the side. And on one of the benches, you see this little kobold with a cage on his hip and just leather trappings, just cackling to himself to your little trip down tunnels.
Oh. This guy was aware of us the whole time with all the clicking rocks and swinging blades and tarps.
It seems like they were, yes.
Alright. Goji's gonna have a very hard time not wanting to kill this guy.
Vrisdan is visibly angry. Right there with you, Goji.
Yeah.
So, as you all like come around and just glower down at this small cackling red kobold, with as you look at closer, you see that he's got a cage on his hip and another cage on his back that he happens to have a skunk in, and you see other little pouches around his belt, and it seems to be that this little kobold seems to be the guard you were you were told about by Laura or Laurel.
Okay. Goji's gonna ask, is that skunk deglanded?
um, as the kobold settles down from his little giggle fest, he wipes away a corner of his eye, says, "That's for you to find out if you wanted to."
Okay, here I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go walk over to him and just smack him on top of the head out of annoyance, but he has a really good what's the word? De-escalation tool with a skunk strapped to his hip. I'm gonna stay on this side of the room.
As Goji moves away, he stands up and he says, "Welcome, welcome to Master Wrath Hunter's little abode. We're so glad that you managed to get through all those hazardous traps. Just go ahead and think of it as a little test to see what potential customers Master Wrath Hunter would be having. If you choose to, you are more than welcome to continue. I can assure you there are no more traps." And as he says this, little corner of his mouth goes up.
This guy sucks. What's this dude's name? I'm gonna ask him his name. What's your name?
Oh, I apologize. My name is Buart.
Buard?
Buart.
Buart. Like, they're not saying boo, they're saying Buart. Buart. Okay. This little guy. All right. And your master is home?
Yes, he's currently at work in his forge.
And if we were to go inside and talk to him, he wouldn't. He's seeing visitors at the moment?
Anybody that comes to this point is welcome to enter.
Okay. And if and when we leave, is there a way to disarm all the traps you've still got out there that might be armed?
I suppose that would depend on by the time you leave. And he says this with his little corner grin going further up.
Goji's gonna look at Vrisdan and Futon and try to judge how much murder they have in their eyes.
All of it. Vrisdan has stood unflinchingly directly in front of him their entire conversation.
Okay. Well, Goji's not one to be a peacemaker, so if she's gonna make towards the stairs at the upper left there, as if she's gonna try to go in and see the smith, but she'll stop if Vrisdan or Futon make a move toward the kobold, toward Buart.
Vrisdan's not funny.
Okay. As you all turn, presumably you all turn to go into the forge, the little kobold turns and goes back out the way you came, presumably to either disarm or rearm.
Rearm. He's gonna rearm him. I fucking know it. Vrisdan's going after him.
What if I closed the door and locked him out?
Oh.
You can try. I don't know what will happen.
Let's try it. Let's try it.
You want to lock him out?
Yeah, let's lock him out.
A little bit of revenge.
You're welcome to try. You're welcome to try. I can only assume that this is probably the trap maker.
Yeah.
So he probably has reign of the tunnels.
Oh yeah, no, that's not the problem. I'm thinking, does he have a way to get back in the door? Because there was no like key or hole or anything, was there?
I don't know. You would have to give me a roll for that.
Well, I can't perceive shit.
I mean, I'll look at the doors. If there's not an obvious keyhole, Vrisdan's not gonna, painstakingly check the whole thing.
You look at the door and you see that there is a small little mechanism next to the handle to allow that little locking trap to occur. But as you look closely, it seems like no matter what was done on the outside, it would not have allowed an opening to occur without permission of the kobold.
Just really quick before we do anything else, I'm zoomed in on Vrisdan and Goji's tokens right now, and I'm just imagining that those two looks are exactly how they're looking at each other as they're determining how they lock this little fucker out. Like, oh, let's get him. We're gonna fucking get him. I mean, we could. The door swings inward, right, into the room we're in now.
It swings.
Yeah, that
inward.
was my next question.
We could barricade
We
the
just
fucking thing.
close it.
Just push a bench
Yeah.
in front of it.
I will stand here and hold the wall just to hear him scramble. The image of him, feeble and weak in my brain, has pacified me, says Vrisdan. I'm over this.
You're over it. Okay.
I know in my heart of hearts he is weaker than me, and that's all I need.
Okay. We'll leave the door alone then.
I mean, if you want to close and lock it, I'll do that with you. Just I'm not going to stand here and barricade
Nah,
or something.
that's fine.
Okay.
I think.
Do you keep getting smaller, Goji?
I've been
You're, like,
changing.
tiny now.
I've been changing my size relative to everybody else, depending on what kind of mood
Oh.
Goji's in. Like when she gets
I
angry,
thought I looked a little. Oh, that's pretty good. Okay.
versus when she's, normal mood, versus when she's been chastened or embarrassed by traps.
Oh yeah, for sure. Tail between your legs when you're smaller. I get you.
Yeah.
Did you close the door?
Oh, Futon's got the most bitch in him. Wow. Okay, both of us were just like, you know what? Cooler heads will prevail. Futon's like, fuck that.
How are you closing the door? Are you like slamming it, or are you trying to be a little stealthy so that the kobold doesn't know that you did that?
A bit more stealthy.
Okay.
Do you
All right,
want? Does
yeah.
does Futon? Do you want to barricade it or just closing it?
Can't I use the little mechanism? Or was it
Oh.
only for the kobold?
Give me.
We could break the little mechanism and see if that will lock it.
Yeah.
That would. Okay.
How are we gonna get out of here? Just curious.
I don't know
Like,
how
break
you're gonna
down
get
a
out of
single
there.
door. What's the door made out of?
It's made out of wood.
We can break down a door, Goji. I believe in us.
Okay.
Give me a.
Whatever
Give
it
me
is,
either
you
a
got
sleight of
guidance.
hand or stealth roll, whichever one you prefer.
Oh shit.
With that, you can competently handle the mechanism to lock it without breaking.
Buart done fucked up. That's with the wrong monk.
Well, Futon thinks it's funny, does he know? If he can't take it, then he shouldn't be given it.
Real.
Yes. Futon's sense of justice.
Very real.
That's fantastic.
Oh,
Okay, so the door seems to be inaccessible from outside. At least, as far as what we know about the door, and this stupid little kobold doesn't seem like he's going to be able to get back in unless he knows something we don't know, correct?
presumably, yes.
Okay. And then if there's nothing else notable about the space that we're in, he took the skunk with him, right?
Yeah, it's Skunk's with him.
Okay. If there's nothing else notable about the room we're in, Goji's ready to move deeper into the cavern. But I would ask if we're about to engage with the smith directly, if you don't mind if we take a break before we do. But if there's something that we need to do yet
Yeah,
before
sure.
we talk to him,
We can do that.
okay.
Before we do that, 1 second. Yeah, that sucks. So as you were stepping up to the final set of stairs, you look to your right and you see that the cavern is a little bit more in depth than you perceived.
Okay.
And you see a little hole in the cavern. A little hole big enough of a size to fit a kobold.
God damn it.
And as you look into the darkness of that little hole, you see that there's actually a tunnel.
He's got a way back in, you guys.
Block it off.
Is it on the east wall, the west wall?
Right wall.
Right wall. Okay.
The east wall.
Okay.
The east wall.
All right.
So
I'll do it if you guys want to fuck around and block this thing off, but it's probably gonna take. It's gonna take some.
My
work.
question would be: is what are you gonna block it with?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
We've got benches over here.
Push one of those benches in front of it.
Oh, I wish you luck doing that with the heavy stone bench.
Yeah.
I'm not a war cleric because I'm weak.
I mean, somebody put those benches there, so somebody moved them.
I mean, if you want to, you can. Yeah.
You guys think we can do it?
Yeah. You and me lift it like a coffin.
Okay.
All right.
So,
I want a strength roll from both of you.
I'm guidancing myself because your strength is a lot better than me.
All right. Let's see. How do I do? Oh, I think I just do it like this. Fuck, a 4. God damn it.
God damn.
You
21.
You each take a side, and remarkably, the side where Vrisdan is just lifts with no real effort on his part. But on the other side, Goji just can't get a good handle on the sides of the bench and is not able to lift it up without hurting her back.
Okay.
Don't pull your back out down here.
I'll try.
Yeah, I'll step out of the way. I was going to say,
Sure.
would it be
Give
possible...
me a strength roll.
While that's happening, would it be possible if Vrisdan's able to lift up one end, could Goji just push the other end while it's on the floor? We just kind of drag it over there? Holy shit, no need! Oh my god.
Equally little effort, Futon lifts his side, and you both pick up the stone bench and march it up the stairs with Goji giving directions so that neither one of them trip over themselves. And you stop in front of the little tunnel, and you manage to turn it in such a way to block off most of the entrance of the little tunnel.
This guy is so fucked. He's gonna be so
fired.
pissed. Oh man. All right.
We're going to see
Okay.
him back at the merchant's den. He's going to be looking for a new job. He's going to sell that little skunk, and I'm going to buy it. That's mine now. Thank you.
Okay.
Oh man.
So before we take the break, I will say that after your unique experience, you each earn 125 XP. And
Hell
with
yeah.
your little clever rejoinder on the kobold, you gain another 15.
Ooh.
So 140 XP to each of you.
Oh, dude, I always forget where. Wait, I know where it is. I know where it is. 140, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Massive, well, that means there's only 50 till next level.
Yeah. Sweet. And depending on how much this smith annoys us, we might get to the next level as soon as we talk to him. We might throw a bench on this dude.
There is a second one.
Oh yeah, that's a pretty
The
map.
second bench has hit this guy's
Hold on. I don't think
personal
that's-
abode.
I don't think you can zoom in on that, right?
No, we can't.
Here you go.
This is insane. Poor guys. The weapon that we found the most use for has been bench.
But yeah, that was the whole map.
That's a beautiful map. I like it. Okay, was there something else I was gonna say? I don't remember. I don't think so. I think you guys want to take like a 10-minute break?
Sure.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right.
Okay. Welcome back. Does anybody else need some more time?
Nope. All good here.
Alrighty then. So we come back to where you are all entering the forge the forge location of Bromrule Wrathhunter. And as you enter, you see that it seems to have been set up as a little merchant display. As soon as you enter, you look in, and to your right, you see displays of weaponry for sale. You see to your left some armor stands, a couple barrels of just weaponries of mediocre to low quality stacked inside of them. You see a desk counter straight ahead of you with um, some minor stuff, as well as a back wall full of books and presumably ledgers. And at the desk, you see a Durgar of advancing years with a haggard looking face, no hair, and a scar running down the side of his face. He's wearing a blacksmithing apron, and he's looking straight at you with no surprise evident on his face. And to your right, you also see a stairway leading upwards, as well as next to the stairway, an opening leading further into what is presumably the forging area. And following is a map.
Hey, it's a nice space. Alright, well, this is so nice, I don't think the dungeon playlist makes sense here. I'm gonna have to switch to town playlist.
And as you're searching for your town playlist, presumably Wrathhunter greets you. Welcome. It's about time you got here.
You've been expecting us?
Oh, I heard you.
Oh.
All those clicks down the hall.
Do you know somebody named Laral? I can't remember his name. Laral something. Orc that sells stuff?
Sorry. You mean Laurel Crawl?
Yeah.
So you're one of those one of those customers.
Well, yeah.
And as he says that, you see his stoic and gruff demeanor sets more into a disappointment in the knowledge that you're not here to actually buy anything. Considering that the arrangement that he has with Laurel, as Laurel told you, was more of like a introduction for his services.
Okay.
Well, welcome to Wrathhunter's Forge. I presume you come with a bottle of the ink that I made for Laurel to pass out, no?
Yes. Is this what you're looking for? And Goji holds out the bottle of ink from her bag.
Aye, that be one. And he steps up off of his little stool that he had that you could not see, and he's of a normal Durgar height, barely reaching to Vrisdan's chest height. And he starts to walk around the counter and comes up to you and holds out his hand for the ink bottle and the weapon that I'm supposed to be working on.
So Goji's gonna hand excuse me, I'm sorry. Goji will hand him the ink bottle, and then she takes her club off of her back and holds it out gingerly to Wrathhunter.
Wrathhunter looks at the weapon while holding the bottle, and you see an eyebrow go up, wondering as to why Laurel would pick this out. And as he takes a closer look, he starts to notice the blackened scorch marks that your club is riddled with, and starts to reach out his hand in a motion of asking permission to handle it.
Goji's going to put it in his hand with a plea to please be gentle.
Well, of course. Of course, I'm a runesmith, lady. I'm always gentle with weaponry. 1 second. Oh. So he takes the weapon up in his hand, in his free hand, and even though it's a great club, you can see that this Durgar has more than sufficient strength to handle it with ease, with just one arm. And he gives it a few light swings and seems to not actually be looking at the physical object in his hand, more like an inner introspection of what he's holding. And as he does this, he gives a few nods and looks to you and says, I can see why Laurel picked you out. And he looks to the other two with you and he says, I'm afraid that this ink is not sufficient for whatever other items you're wanting. But then, after he says that, he looks back to Goji and he says, but as the agreement that I have with Laurel, I will use this ink to inscribe on your weaponry, on your weapon. And as he says this, he turns to his left and starts marching down the steps, and he calls out from around his shoulder, if you want, you're welcome to come in, but do not touch anything.
Oh yeah, I want to go see.
And as he goes in and you follow, and I assume Vrisdan stands to follow as well, you go into the forge area and you see that it is very similar to what you can see on the map, but you see a large furnace area in the middle, all glowing in the same blue flame light that you saw previously in the cavern above. And as you take note of this, spanning outward from it, you can see an assortment of tools of not just the normal smithing kind, but also tools for inscribing upon both metal and wood and clay and anything else you could possibly need to make inscriptions. And as you pan your view around the room, you see that there is a table right in front of you, and on this table is not the weaponry shown on the map, but instead an assortment of alchemical components and alchemical craft that would presumably allow this Durgar to make the ink that he uses to magically inscribe the weaponry in the special fashion that he is seemingly famous for.
Cool.
And along the walls, you can also see more weaponry hanging, some of them inscribed, some of them just blank slates. And further on the far side of the room, you also see a locked off cabinet area. And within, you can see more bottles, those of better quality than the one that you held, and actually of different colors of ink.
What kind of colors? Because the one I have is black, or is it blue? Or dark blue?
It was black. It was black with a seeming kind of weird kind of shine.
Mm-hmm.
But you also see colors intermixed in the ones that are displayed of greens and yellows, and you also see a couple pinks. And from where you stand, you cannot tell of any kind of difference between them. You do see that some have labels, some do not, presumably to aid the Durgar in his sorting and whatever kind of ink that he needs specially for whatever weapon or armor he's working on.
Very cool.
So as you look around the room and examine it, you'll also notice that at the furnace, you see 3 different lines of tubes, all being lit by the same blue fire from the ceiling leading down into the furnace itself. And presumably these are the same 3 lines of fire that connected the light blue forge up above with the statues.
The where the anvil was?
Hmm.
Cool. Okay.
So as you were all looking around, the Durgar was marching around the furnace to the other side, and starts to, even though the room was hot enough as it was, begin to bellow the furnace to raise up the temperature necessary to do his craft. And as he does so, he turns to Goji and he says, "You are aware that the work I do is requiring a change of your weapon, correct?"
I was hoping it wouldn't, but okay, what kind of changes are we talking about?
Well, while I do work in blacksmithing, I am prominently a runesmith, and my runes must be inscribed on the weapon in order to give off the magical effects that the ink has.
Okay. Something you can
And
write into the bark, right?
Technically, yes, it is writing. And the problem with your weapon, though, as he says this, he turns it to you and shows, pointedly to the barbs that are coming out from the top of the club and along the rest of the club. These will be in the way. I cannot work my crafts with them there.
Okay. Just a quick out-of-character moment so Futon and Vrisdan know what's happening, and also so people and anybody watching on YouTube knows what happened. The club is from a honey locust tree, and I just pasted in Discord a photo of what a honey locust tree trunk looks like. So the branches would have this too, these thorns that grow out of the side of it. And when it landed on Goji's bed, she kept it exactly as it was. Like, she was like, this is from the gods, like I have to use it exactly as it is. So she kept all the barbs and everything on there, and just has to use it gingerly so she doesn't injure herself with those barbs. So that's I think that's what Wrath Hunter, is that his name?
Yeah.
That's what he's referring to. Okay. Back to being in character now. You mean you have to take off the thorns?
I'll have to. I have to make the inscriptions from the top of the club all the way down the length of the weapon down to the pommel in order to be able to activate the latent magic that's within this.
Okay. Goji's going to take a second and just kind of walk around thinking to herself. And then she's going to turn back to Wrath Hunter and say, do you need to take them off, or can I take them off?
And he gives a knowing nod, and he looks to you and he says, I can guide you to take them off.
Okay. That's what Goji's going to agree to then. So, assuming that he has a tool that would be appropriate to the job, she'll use it to carve the barbs off of the club. And then, assuming that all goes smoothly, Mike, you can tell me if there's something is different, but once that's done, she'll collect the barbs and wrap them in a piece of cloth, and then shove them gingerly into her pack. She wants to keep those. She's not going to discard them.
Okay. Before we do that, Brumrel will turn to both Futon and Vrisdan, and he'll say to them, for you two, if you wish, you can either stay with us, take some of those tools and just watch, or if you want, and I'm trusting you two, you may go upstairs and take a rest. Or I presume this will take a bit of time just to take the barbs off.
Vrisdan goes upstairs.
Yeah.
Okay. So you both go upstairs, and
If that little fucker comes back and tries to get through that bench, you guys gotta call me. Oh, we didn't tell him what we did to his kobold servant, did we? He might be
I
pissed when
will
he finds out.
continue to not tell him that.
Presumably, he is well enough aware of his chosen guard to know what his effect upon visitors is.
Okay, all right.
Which seems to be intentional.
He wouldn't be surprised that we were upset at him, for example.
No.
Okay.
And those two go upstairs, and
Whoa.
above they find the following. They
The
just
fucking
find,
Ritz! Holy shit!
Yeah, they find a locked room to their left, and an available room further down to the left, to where they could presumably one of them sleep should they choose to. And further down, they find a little room for bathing and washing up, as well as a living area, with the top of it being with the top of the forge actually allowing a little fireplace in this living room, as well as a kitchen area down the hall from down the room that where choose to they could have whatever kind of meal they wanted, and
Dang.
they can relax up here, presumably with the trust of not doing anything they shouldn't be doing. This
is crazy. Okay, well, Goji hasn't seen any of this space yet, but assuming she gets a chance to see it before we leave, this is like, holy shit, this is where I want to retire to. This is beautiful.
So,
Nice
going back to Goji and Brumrul, he looks to you right before leading you to do the work that you were requesting, and he gauges how much of an important item this is to you based on the clues that you've been given off. And instead of going for the chisel just to scrape off the thorns, he turns instead to a pair of very small little pliers that he has for his work, and he says to you, should you choose to, we could take the longer process and have you pluck off all of these barbs and then sand down the weapon afterwards. It'll take a lot longer.
Okay. Assuming that that'll preserve more of the thorns themselves, that's what Goji will do. Use the long method.
Okay. So you do so, and instead of just the couple minutes, you instead spend a couple hours lovingly and with great perseverance plucking off each separate barb and putting it aside to be stored for a separate keeping. And afterwards he gives you the right to sand down the weapon as well, for him to be able to do his inscriptions on the weapon.
Okay.
All of this giving you the chance to reflect on how much this means to you, how much you're giving up by essentially in your eyes defacing such a god-given gift, and coming to terms as this is possibly something to make you stronger. And a couple hours go by and you finally finish on the process of getting this weapon ready to be worked on.
Yeah. Goji is she's burdened by the gravity of this situation. This is a big deal.
And all the while he stands to your shoulder. Oh, I'm sorry. You're a little tall. He stands to your side, next to your shoulder, and watches over you, making sure to give pointers to how much force you should be making to preserve all the thorns as best as you can, how to make the sanding as evenly as possible. And finally, when you're done and he watches you put away the barbs in your little cloth, he turns to you and he says, you know, those thorns of yours, I imagine they still have the same power I could feel in the club. They may be of use to you, should you choose to use them further.
Use them for what?
Well, I would imagine that with such a wood piece, though I know not what it is, that there may be some kind of botanical use or even alchemical use.
Okay. Yeah, Goji's gonna keep those safe.
And considering that they have power, they may serve in some means to make whatever you craft of them better. But I would imagine it will be just as much of a trial for you then as it is now.
Yeah. I think in Goji's mind, she's thinking that this is something that seems to come from the divine. The way that this club seems to have rested in her hands, there's no bit of it that she would throw away lightly. She's going to hold on to these, and even if she can't ever use them for something, she's going to cherish them. But she'll keep her ears open and see if they ever come to some future use.
And after saying his piece on that, he proceeds to grab up the weapon once more and goes back to the furnace. And though you did not notice at any point during your concentration, he indeed make sure to keep the furnace hot and ready and good to go for whenever he got to work. And as he goes there, he lays the weapon upon the fire itself, seemingly without causing any further marking of flames upon the weapon. There is no scorching past what you could see from the lightning that caused it.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow, even though as hot as this is, whatever magic is coursing through these blue flames is enough to just allow him to do what work needs to be done without ruining the component of the material he's working with. And as he turns the weapon throughout the flames, he takes up a little hand chisel, one that's suited for wood rather than metal, and begins to inscribe upon the weapon in what you recognize as Deathic. And as he does so, he works methodically and with full concentration, seemingly in complete ignorance of your presence from then on, and slowly and painstakingly goes from the bottom of the pommel in circular motions, inscribing throughout it, and going from that pommel piece up along the weapon all the way up to the top of the great club, and finally closing the circuit. He is finished with such work, and then once he's done doing all the inscriptions themselves, he turns and grabs the ink bottle, and you see him just upending the bottle over the great club, holding it in an upside down way to having the pommel upwards. And instead of having the ink splash and spread all over the place, it instead lands inside the inscribed Deathic runes. And with his art that he is capable of, allows the ink to suffuse itself into these runes up and down the great club. And as it does so, and you witness how it works, though you do not know how, you feel from where you stand the magic within the great club begin to expand from its core outward to where it reaches the ink suffused runes. And as the ink finally proceeds down the length of the club, down to the very top of the weapon, the Duergar pulls the weapon out of the fire and allows it to cool while held in his hand. And as you watch, the previously black ink begins to shift colors and begins to give off this glow of the same color of blue of the blue flame that it was suffused in. And finally, the ink settles into this light, very light white blue. And in your mind's eye, as you look at these letters, all you see is lightning. And finally, the Duergar nods his head and looks to you, and taking the top of the weapon, shifts it around, presenting you the pommel.
Goji takes the pommel. She has tears in her eye. This has been a religious experience for her.
Sorry, excuse me. As he watches your satisfaction and also your
Awe.
devoted
Religious awe.
devoted
yeah.
awe of the weapon, he gives a gruff little cough and gives a nod and is seemingly satisfied with his own work and also satisfied with your own appreciation of his work. He says, "Congratulations, lass. Now, if you want, you can go and gather your friends and show that Butte
Okay.
off."
Goji's gonna blink back some tears and take a couple practice swings with it, and she's so engrossed in this experience that she's just had that thinking about real life feels like coming out of a dream. And she's gonna kind of snap to attention and realize where she is and what she's been doing, and turn to Wrath Hunter and ask what she owes him.
When you asked that, while you were doing the swings, I would say that as each swing cements upon you what is capable with this weapon, and you can feel the power of lightning coursing through it. And at the apex of each swing, you can hear low thunder in your ears, seemingly.
That's
And
awesome.
you can also know the following.
Oh. Fulminating Great Club. Lightning Scorched Great Club. Deathic runes of power are inscribed at the top and base of the weapon, providing access to the power residing within. Simple melee, rare, weight of 10. Damage is 1d8 bludgeoning plus 1d4 lightning. Whenever impact is made with this great club, the rumble of thunder can be heard from a distance. Thanks to the inscribed Deathic runes inscribed by Bromrule Wrath Hunter, the thunder is more localized. One charge of Thunderstruck, and it regains charge daily at dawn. As a bonus action, after the great club strikes an opponent, the wielder may force the lightning in the weapon to resound in the target's mind. If the target fails a DC 10 Constitution check, they become stunned for 12 seconds. Cannot take actions or reactions, cannot move, can only speak falteringly. Automatically fails strength and dexterity saving rolls. Attack rolls against the stunned creature have advantage. That's awesome. I love it. Wow. Alright, so I gotta put this in my inventory, right?
Yeah, just drag a little dragon.
Yeah, okay.
Before we get into the story again, I will say that effect, one minor thing is I changed it back to be 3 charges. So,
Okay.
one thing that you need to note about this is, as a fighter, you use your bonus action for damage and for healing. So this is a compromise of you deciding on when you want to use this.
Got
and
it.
you should also know that because the DC check is 10 for Constitution, it makes it to where it's a very low chance of happening because most creatures have a good Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
So this is going to be a thing where you need to choose when you want to use it in sacrifice of your damage or healing potential.
Got it. Okay. I see. Alright, and I just want to check. So I've moved it to my inventory. what? Oh, there we go. If I click the dragon again, it brings up the description because I wouldn't be able to refer to it. Okay, awesome. Very cool. Yes. So sorry. Back to in the moment. Goji asks, "What do I owe you?"
There's nothing to pay. The introduction was enough. You paid Laurel for the ink, and this was essentially your means to know that I'm here and that I do, in fact, provide more services of a like manner. And as he says this, he turns and sweeps his arm towards the cabinet that is locked off. What you have now is just the beginning.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. This, I don't think I can even describe how much this means to me. This is amazing. And with
I
that,
am pleased.
Goji heads upstairs to try to go grab a quick bowl of soup and maybe a nap.
Okay, you go ahead and do so, and he follows along, just presumably to take his own break, considering he's been working for hours as well. And you find your companions, one freshly out of a bath and relaxing on a couch, the other one presumably just meditating on a seat.
Yeah.
And you go in and you show off your brand spanking new weapon.
So yeah, I'm going to show it to Vrisdan and to Futon, and I think again Goji is like very emotional about this. Like she's able to talk, but she has to stop every few seconds because she's pretty emotional. And just because it's not something I'll probably think of any given moment going forward, I would just like to kind of seed a character moment in future rests that we have while we're out exploring the Underdark or wherever we are, which is that occasionally Goji, when she has a moment to rest and stop and think, she's going to pull those honey locust thorns out of her bag and just kind of look at them, just admire them, and then roll them back up and throw them back in the bag when it's time to move on.
Sounds good. As you sit there and throw up your weapon to your friends, Wrath Hunter is also
First time
there
we've used
just-
the F word, everybody. We're friends. Oh, what a moment.
I mean, does it count when it's the GM forcing it upon
No,
you?
I think that's a genuine. I feel like it's genuine. I think all of us having similarly base reactions to that trap laying kobold. I think if we hadn't already realized we were friends,
That's big friends vibes,
that was
yeah.
big. That was a big friend moment right there.
That's not just friend, that's crew. We're our crew now.
We're boys now.
No, we don't just hang out, we roll.
We roll. That's right.
Okay, settle down, Autobots.
Do I gotta do the voice again?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Meatball.
So as you're showing it off, Wrath Hunter is pointing out, giving you hints and clues of how you could wield your weapon with greater finesse and pushing forward the capabilities of the magic that's held within.
Mhm.
And unless you guys have any questions for him, he will go ahead and say to the rest of you, more as a trio than just to Goji for the most part, as he has been. And as you can see, this is why I am known throughout the Underdark for, as a runesmith, I am capable of taking magic of any sort and distilling it into an ink and inscribing upon either weapons or armor. So, as you have found your way to me, you now have the privilege of having my services. You should know, however, that this was just an introduction, as I stated before. My services are very expensive.
Okay.
And knowing as it is for the Underdark on how dangerous it is to get here, I have set up a means to reaching here once you have first done so.
Phew.
You may find in your travels certain braziers similar to the ones that you encountered earlier. They will provide you means to reaching me once more. So any of you have a particular weapon or armor that you wish to inscribed with a particular spell or even just magical effect, come back once you have the sufficient funds.
Cool. Okay. Good to know. Oh, there it is. I'm sorry. I'm talking out loud. I was trying to pull up the living space map and I couldn't find it. Now I found it. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to kill a moment there.
No, it's fine. I kind of stopped in case anybody wanted to say anything.
Do we want to tell him about the kobold? I don't think we do.
Ask him how his friend is.
Oh,
That
yeah.
would be fun for him to discover later.
You're still a robot, I think.
I am. Now I'm a weird alien thing.
Fuck it. Vrisdan's just a robot alien from now on.
Yeah. That's what all drow sound like. Oop, I can hear myself. That's what all drow sound like by default. We just do a lot of vocal training to not
to sound
y'all.
to sound normal.
This is why they stay in the
Yeah.
dark, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fucking weirdos. I'm just looking at the household map, the comfortable living space map, and I'm noticing if you have both the bathtub and the cook pot in the kitchen in frame at the same time, they're almost the same size. That's a huge freaking cook pot, thinking about it. And there's a ladle sticking out of it, which means that ladle is like 6 feet long. If the bathtub
Clearly you've
is
never stirred
human
that
sized.
big of a pot. You need
No,
a
I
huge-
haven't.
That's,
I mean,
that's fair. It
this-
is a
thi-
Duergar. It might be a small bath.
That's true.
Mhm.
Oh, fair. That's true. Yeah. Good point.
You also gotta remember this is a blacksmith runesmith that works a lot. Gonna
Yeah,
be one
maybe he's entertaining
stinky,
guests. You got to make a lot of
stinky,
stew.
one stinky, sweaty, hungry Duergar.
I bet the kobold cooks for him too, because if you think about it, you're working in a forge all day. You come back at the end of the day, you're like, fuck, I need a bath. And you don't have the energy to cook.
You said that, and immediately there are a couple in my mind now. This is the gay extended family.
They are.
They're gay and they're in love, and I'm so happy for them.
It's the little smartass
You
skunk kobold.
You activated my trap card. They were gay all along. Boom.
Wait,
Damn
do
it,
we
how
know
did
the
they
gender
figure
of the
it out?
kobold? Are kobold?
It was male.
It was male. Okay. Are kobold easily
Okay.
distinguishable gender-wise to non-kobold? This is just a
have
lore
like
question. I don't know.
Argonians.
Yeah, they don't have boobs, right? Like female kobolds are just
They-
they just also look like little lizard people, right?
All you hear in the background is mad scrabbling on a paper saying, "Kobolds have boobs now."
I guess
That's
What?
gonna
Yeah,
be
yeah,
all the session
yeah.
notes you have for next session. Kobold
Mm.
with boobs? Question mark, question mark, question mark.
so then the next
And then
the
right
next
underneath it says "Kobold with boobs!" Exclamation point! Exclamation point! Exclamation point!
the next time we have a surprise encounter, Mike's gonna be like, the first thing you notice is a fantastic rack. And it's a kobold. And we're like, what?
And as it turns, you find that it's got a fairly superior trunk too.
Man.
Kobold's got everything I wish I had.
Wow, there are no rails anymore.
Nope.
Okay.
Radcliffe, we need floorboards.
So we left off with another sales pitch from a different merchant now. So I don't know what you guys want to do now after the sales pitch. Ask him
I mean,
questions.
she's still coming down from her religious experience. I imagine the way that he described his services, it sounds like going forward, whatever we would ask him to do would require a bunch more money than we got away with this time. Is that accurate?
We should probably ask how much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nobody's asked him how much.
Okay, that sounds appropriate. Goji's probably not going to ask because she's just enraptured with her fantastic, amped up club. But if one of the other members wants to.
Yeah, I'll ask how much.
Okay, you ask him how much, and he looks to you, Futon, and he sees, what armor do you have? What
I
armor
don't
do
have
you
any.
He's a monk. He's fighting in a barrel. He's barrel with suspenders. That's what he's fighting in.
Okay, let's just say you've got like these meager little bracers. They're not gonna block anything. They're not counted to your AC. But he looks to that and he says, well, for something like that of low quality and using an ink just to give you a little bit more durability on that weapon, that would cost you at the very least 2,000 gold.
Okay.
Excuse me. Wow. 2,000. Okay. Whew. That beats what I spent on my club by a factor of 100. That's nuts. Okay. Oh. Well, later in the late game, when we have shitloads of gold and no way to spend it, we know where to go.
Well, I'm glad you figured out my whole idea with this. So, real talk, the whole thing is that I don't know how this campaign will go, but with Goji and her own roleplay reasons for just using this club and nothing else, I don't know if in the future she'll be willing to use a secondary weapon.
Never.
Toss it away and use
Never.
another weapon.
Never.
But as a fighter, that little, even great club is not going to be sufficient. So this was what I came up with as a means to make you more capable as future acts come up.
Yes.
Otherwise, you're just going to essentially drag down your team as a fighter using a great club.
That makes sense. This is a way to short circuit character decisions that would otherwise be an unwise idea from a min-max perspective, but nevertheless would still be character decisions that you would want to keep in the campaign. Here's a way to circumvent that. I see. Okay, cool. I get it.
So,
very smart.
Like I said, in the future, once you come across whatever brazier you find, you can come back here, and presuming you have the sufficient gold, you can upgrade not just this great club further with whatever effects that is available. Welcome back, Max. Your companions as well could do the same thing with whatever special or unspecial weapon or armor they wanted to inscribe.
Very cool. I dig it. That's a very smart way to address that kind of problem. That was when I was coming up with the character in my mind. I was like, okay, wait, but if you're going to devote yourself to your level 1 weapon, aren't you kind of maybe screwing yourself over when you come across something awesome later on that you can't switch to because your character wouldn't do it? So that's cool. I appreciate it. Also, just a quick moment. The food on this map looks really tasty.
You can go ahead and thank Seppuku.
There are loaves of bread that are just the most, like, I'm And the
I was
veggies
looking
that
at
are
that
chopped
scoop.
up on the cutting board in the kitchen? Come
I
on.
noticed
Yeah.
the
I don't
arugula
like
on the
mushrooms.
floor. Call what Mr. Dropped.
Oh.
But yeah, later on down the campaign, this is one means for you guys to spend your gold to improve yourselves outside of buying spell components, actual different gear, buying
it.
your own houses and decorate it, whatever it
Cool.
is.
Very cool. Okay. So this is just a character question. Back when Goji was hit by that log trap that stupid Buart laid for us, she was at max health at the time, and you said that she healed 3 hit points, so I put them in as temporary hit points, which would put her at 19.
Those will be gone by now.
Okay, I was gonna say,
It didn't
yeah.
matter.
If nothing else, when she rested, those should be gone. But I didn't know how much time had passed. I wanted to be sure that I wasn't.
Oh, it's been at least 6 hours, possibly more.
Oh, okay, all right. She's back to her regular 16 then. All right, got it. Okay. So I guess the question then that I have out of character is there a way back to the meandering tunnels of the Underdark that would not require us to go back through the trap-laden entryway? And if so, when we came out of this alternate exit, would we know where we are and what direction we could head to get to the Durgar city? I guess maybe that's okay, sorry. Let me back up. Goji is going to ask Wrath Hunter, do you know where the Durgar city is and what's the best route to get there?
When you ask that, you see that rough face that he had that was in a much better mood than you first saw it, drops back down to a frown, very severe in its make. And he says, I know how to get there.
And I plead with Vrisdan and Futon, if you want to say something, don't let me do all the talking, but since I'm the one who asked the question, I'll just continue on. Goji asks, or rather says, we're dealing with some asshole drow, and we've been told that the Durgar city might be our best means of combating them and also getting back to the surface.
As you say that, he gives a small little scratch along his chin, thinking, says, I can see how that would be helpful. You're not wrong. Right now, that would probably be the best means for you to reach the surface. And considering that Bastard King is fighting the drow, they would help you.
And so how do we get there?
You would have to go back down south. One way would be to have the Kuatoa take you there. I don't think you'll be able to enter in through the portal, considering that the city is locked down. Another means would be going via the land, exiting west from Mental Dareth. But that's brought with its own dangers, like as onto Darkblade. The problem will be when you actually reach the city itself. No one's permitted to go in and out without the king's permission.
Do you know the king?
You could say I do, considering that he's the one that kicked me out of the city.
Oh, okay. So we wouldn't be able to use your recommendation to get into the city then.
You say that, and he gives his first actual smirk that you see from him. You could say that you can get into the city through me. um, I happen to actually have been part of the old king's forge masters. So it's not like I don't have my own means to get back in.
And are these means available to us?
And he looks at you three, and begins to weigh on your potential of coming back to give him more business. And he gives a slight nod. I could give you the means.
Okay, well, if it makes you feel any better, maybe you're annoyed with your kobold boyfriend. We threw him out and closed the door behind him and also blocked off his tunnel with a bench. So he can sleep in the doghouse the next few nights and you can get some space to yourself. I feel like that's worth something.
And when you say that, he gives a few blinks. Like, and wonder as to why
we
the
totally
kobold
misread the
would
situation.
as to why the kobold would be an issue for him, or what kind of
We thought you were
argument
gay.
you might have.
All right.
Well, he didn't
Interspecies
say
gay.
anything.
No, I know.
He didn't
Okay.
say anything yet.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if my boyfriend being outside for a few nights is a bad thing or not,
Confirmed for gay.
but it's not like it's a big issue for him. He can also just keep company with Ubo out there.
Okay, I'm not even going to ask who that is. Okay, how about...
But
Oh,
as
sorry, go ahead.
far as-
Yeah.
But as far as you gaining entry into the city, like I said, it's locked down. You'll have to use circumventive measures to enter.
Okay. I guess you tell me if this doesn't work, but the idea that Goji was just having was, okay, Laral apparently has some kind of business deal with Wrathhunter where Laral sells the ink. He's paying Wrathhunter for the ink and then sells it to some buyer, and then the buyer has to come find Wrathhunter, and so Wrathhunter's making his money by selling to vendors like Laral. The idea is, what if, in order to get access to the Durgar city, to get whatever access Wrathhunter has, we as a party offer to take some of Wrathhunter's ink and sell it to to people the way that Laral has. Like, hey, we encounter somebody who's like, hey, nice weapon. You know, if you bought this ink from us and took it to so-and-so Wrathhunter in the Underdark, he'd be able to mod your weapon for you. Like, basically becoming a means for him to drum up more business. Would that not be attractive to him? I'm just thinking out loud as I'm rambling along.
Well, are you saying this in character or no?
I'm saying this out of character, as in, like, is this something that even makes sense for us to propose to him, or would this just not be, like, he's got his trusted vendors and he wouldn't consider just roping in some adventurers he just met?
Well, from the clues that you've been given so far, he is an outcast Durgar of reputed craftsmanship, and he has his own promotion style through Laral, and you also made him aware of the fact that you're going to be leaving the Underdark eventually, meaning that any potential
getting to the
gains
surface
that he would have would be null because they have to come to him first.
Yeah. Okay.
So I would say no, him using you as a promotional material would not be beneficial to him.
Okay. All right. Then Goji she'll have that little spark of an inspiration, and then she'll realize very quickly, no, wait, that doesn't make any sense, and she'll keep it to herself. Thanks, GM.
Okay. Getting back into what he was saying.
Mhm.
Uh, there is one way that me and my apprentices have made to allow access, since the apprentices that I cultivated are thankfully still within the city, as while I am part of the, and as he says it, he does air quotes old guard,
Mm.
as the bastard king liked to call me. He still does need workers, crafters within the city. And if you were to find your way to the port side of Graxtelberg, you would find that there is a little side cavern, one where you would find the slum section of the city. And within it, you would also find that most of the sewage of the that's run down from the city is managed there. Within said sewage maintenance, you would find a particular lever, one of a green color, that would allow a part of the wall to open up.
Hmm.
That is the means that me and my apprentice crafted into the wall during one such maintenance checks before I was forced to leave.
Okay. So, slum section, green lever in a wall, and that'll open us up a way into the main part of the city.
Aye. You would find that amongst the mechanisms that is used to maintain the pipelines and sewage levels that is run down from the city.
Okay. I don't imagine it would make a very big difference to somebody like Wrath Hunter, because he's charging $2,000 a pop to modify gear, but
He's charging you $2,000 a pop for the lowest quality gear to be inscribed with the lowest quality ink.
yeah. But that said, Goji's going to throw him another 20 gold as a thank you for the tip about the Durgar city, because that's what she paid for the ink initially. So she kind of thinks like this is an appropriate amount to thank him for the tip.
He looks at the amount and he looks to you and gives you a slight nod. He pockets it, and then after he does so, he turns to look at Vrisdan, and as he does so, he gives another measuring look, and he says, "You're not from Mezobaran, are you?"
No.
That's very good for you, actually. Now, I won't say that you'll have the warmest reception. In fact, it will be rather cold. But the city has been enchanted to make it aware of any intruders that come specifically from Mezobaran. However, that won't stop them from taking certain actions against you for being what you are. So, what I'll do for each of you, due to your gratitude, is provide you a means to at least combat such a situation from happening outright. And as he says that, he turns and goes back downstairs, and presumably you follow him. And he goes to his counter, and behind it, he pulls out a little box. And as he opens it, you can see that there is an assortment of tokens within it, all of like manner and make. And he pulls 3 out and he hands it to you. And you can see that it has a square-like form, easily held within your hands. And upon it is an insignia of a hammer and chisel. and with the back of it allowing for it to be hooked upon your armor should you choose to. And
Oh.
as he hands it to you, says, "This is the mark of my own craftsman union within the city."
He's unionized too. Let's go, boys.
Yes.
Gay and unionized. Damn, this guy is based as fuck.
You're
Dude,
welcome.
we're bringing gay space communism to the Underdark.
You're goddamn right.
You are.
Where's
welcome.
Axel? I feel like we should have summoned Axel.
just
Bro,
by
you
just
don't
by
know
saying
how many times I asked that fool to join us. So anyway,
The phrase "gay space communism" to the Underdark should have like manifested Axel in my room
Yeah.
physically.
Yep.
that sounds like a little much.
They
to
could have
hope
been
for, but
completely
there you go.
asleep and then just instantly been like, and they were just going at 100%.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Sorry. I need to
That
get
was
back
our
into
fault.
it.
That was our fault.
That there is the symbol of my craftsman unionship, and since my apprentices will still be working within the city, they should provide you with the protection for outright hostility. I will tell you now, though, this will not get you the means to access to the king. And that's something that you're gonna have to figure out on your own.
Yeah, dude, we'll crack some fucking skulls when we get in there. That's what we do.
And he gives an approving nod, but you can also that there's a hint of worry in his eyes. on that
Yeah, that's fair. We're psychos. We shut his gay kobold boyfriend out of his house because they set a few traps for us. We're crazy.
Well, what you do is your own decision. I will say though, like I said, the city is locked down, and you can only enter and exit so long as you have the king's permission. That's applying to your route to go out to the surface as well.
Okay. And what's the best direction to head in to get to the Duergar? How do you say it? Is it Duergar or Duergar?
I say Duergar.
Duergar. Okay. I always feel like I'm saying it wrong every time I say it. What's the best
I
direction
mean,
to?
we're arguing semantics on a fancy name bullshit.
Yeah,
so-
I know. We all.
I think it's an
mispronounce.
actual Old Norse word.
So
That is
would-
true. It probably is.
Like
Yeah, I think
Draugr
it's
versus
that kind.
Draugr. Yeah.
Yeah, but whatever. It's fine. I don't think any Pam's Norwegian audience, I'm sure, will be fine.
I'm gonna get so many comments.
This is the one time we get comments, man.
Yep.
Okay. Trying to get back to where it was. Oh. Well, your choices are three. You may either take the most difficult one and go northward, and that will lead you essentially into the Badlands between the two cities, and there is no means to cull whatever monsters there are up there. So what you find up there is for you to find out. The other means is to take the land route from exiting west out of Mental Dareth, and hopefully you can reach the gates of the port easily enough from there. The other means would be to use the ferryman service that the Kuator offer.
Well, out of character, I'm voting we don't go north because that sounds awful. I'm thinking, this is, I guess, a question just logistically, not even logistically, geographically, Mike, is where we are now, how much more effort would it be to get back to the lake proper and the Kuatoa network versus just going back to the marketplace and heading west?
Well, both means go through Mental Dareth.
Oh, okay. So if we're going to go back to Mental Dareth, it would probably make more sense to just head west than it would to go back to the lake. which is
That's dependent on what you want to do.
what do you guys
One
think?
way is untraveled for your group, with whatever dangers may be that way, and the other way, at the very least, offers you the ferryman service to cut down on your
Okay.
travel.
All right. So first question is anyone in favor of heading north? I'm
No.
saying no. That sounds crazy.
Hmm.
Second question is do we want to go back to the lake and just have the ferry take us to the city direct, or do we want to hazard some tunnels west of Mental Dareth?
I should go ahead and make a note. It won't be a direct.
Oh, the
Ferry.
ferry. Okay. I guess, is there a way to know for our characters which method would get us closer to the slums that we're heading for?
Well, you know that the slums, from what he said, would be
Outside
on a
the
side
city
cavern
walls.
outside the port of the city,
Yeah. Okay.
and presumably the port is on the dark lake.
Accessible from the lake. Okay. So it sounds like we want to go find our Kuatoa fairy friend and hire him for one last job. Maybe not one last, but certainly one additional job.
Yeah, try to build up your Oceans Club.
We got to recruit a crew.
But I'm not trying to dictate which way you go. I mean, West is
No,
going to
yeah.
be there too.
I'm just trying to get a feel for how Futon and Vrisdan are thinking.
Oh, good to me.
The ferry service?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ditto.
Ditto. All right. Then, assuming that we can get out of here without setting off any traps or alerting Buart that we're leaving, we're going to march back toward Mental Dareth and head east out of the tunnels through the same doorway that we accessed with our password guild to the nearest Kuatoa Dark Lake ferry station
Okay.
and hope that our
I-
buddy is still there.
Okay. As you exit the forge, the Durgar giving you a slight nod and wave in hopes that you'll come back for repeat business. You exit and you reach the door that you locked, and as you open it, you realize there's no means for you to relock it once you
Aw.
exit. And you march down the tunnel.
Does anyone else want to
Good.
sacrifice themselves and stay behind to keep this fucker from getting back in?
I think it's time I took up my Warforged bard. Vrisdan will devote the rest of his life to thwarting spy
That's
versus
it.
spy style.
It's just
Him
me.
and this kobold will
Spy
endlessly
versus
come up
spy.
with more elaborate ways to prevent each other.
It's just me and
from
Futon the
getting
rest of the
either
way.
out. Yeah, you guys got this. Send a letter when you get back home. I'll miss you.
They don't even know your address either.
We'll send it down here.
Okay. So you're progressing down the previously trap laden tunnel,
Mhm.
and you reach the previous first trap that you managed to avoid, and you see that
Oh no.
the tripwire underneath the bear trap that you noticed is disarmed, and you see that the ceiling trap is actually open, and you can see a big vast square space up there, and you can smell this potent smell of animal.
That
And as you
skunk.
get past
Is
it,
skunk? Do we smell
do
skunk?
you really want to know what it is or no?
I think I'm gonna do a perception check just to
Yeah,
be like,
give me a perception
okay,
roll.
is it skunk? Or maybe it's Maybelline.
You take a whiff and take a second whiff, and you realize that it is not a skunk smell. It seems more like a bear smell.
Oh. Hmm. And this is built into the ceiling of the approach to Wrath Hunter's forge.
Mm-hmm.
What a fucking weird goddamn kobold
It-
this guy is.
Presumably, considering what you know now, if you had managed to avoid the unfunctional bear trap and stepped on the wire instead, a bear would have landed on you instead of you walking into a bear trap.
That's pretty funny. And the hardest trap that they've put in here so far. I respect the kobold a little bit more. It is still a bear trap. That's very clever, guys. I don't think we're giving enough time to that.
I mean,
that's awesome.
Yeah, between the long cut and the bear trap, the inversion of how traps are supposed to work is very, very fun. I agree.
I think bear trap is next level. That's very good. Do y'all want to fight a bear?
I mean, is it alive? I assume that a dead bear corpus is going to fall on
you
our
don't
heads.
see it yet.
Okay.
As you progress down the tunnel, all you did was smell it. You took a good sniff of it.
If it would arrive via the trap, do we want to activate the trap and fight a bear?
Well, okay. First off, I now have to come up with a character reason why Goji recognizes bear by smell. That's something I'll have to build into her backstory at some point.
Bro, your character's a nomad.
Oh, I thought you said I could smell that it was... Oh, I smelled it was animal. I didn't smell that it was bear. I got it. Okay. I'm sorry.
You smelled that it was bear after you checked.
Ah, okay.
And your people is a traveling nomad group, right?
Yeah.
That there's enough of a reason there.
Okay. All right.
So anyway, you progress down the tunnel, and let me go ahead and pull up the map again.
I mean, is Vrisdan gonna trigger this trap just for the fuck?
Well, the trap is already triggered, presumably.
Yeah, he untriggered it. Presumably,
yeah.
Buart did.
Yeah,
but I'm just checking with Vrisdan. Like, is Vrisdan doing some fuckery where he pulls the bear down?
No.
Okay, all right.
So Vrisdan was opening it to the party that a bear might be worth 50 XP.
So
as you we so desired. Sorry, go ahead.
So
but just wait. I'm sorry. I gotta figure this out. Is the bear alive?
You don't see a bear.
Okay, so we would have to like climb up in there and figure out what's going on.
Well, if you look up, all you see is this big
open
square
room
that's enclosed. Presumably, somehow, Buart managed to get a bear in there to lie in wait.
Okay. I was
thinking
that it was a bear carcass that would just fall on us and crush us. But it's potentially a live bear. This little fucker is a psychopath. What is wrong with him? He created an entire space for a bear to just hang out and presumably be fed and watered and have its shit carried away on the off chance that somebody would trip his little wire and cause it to fall on their heads. I agree with Vrisdan. This kind of maniacal thought is worthy of praise. This is fantastic.
That's very impressive.
What a little nut.
Oh.
Now him keeping a skunk on his belt seems downright pedestrian by comparison. What the fuck?
I imagine you're looking at the map, right?
I'm looking at the Underdark map. I haven't.
Hold on. Here we go.
So, yeah, this is...
as you're here is where the trap was.
Wait,
now, if you're looking
again, I'm sorry, I missed it. Oh, okay. Yep, I see it.
So, if you remember, you guys went through this tunnel and completely ignored this little cavern here.
Oh, I didn't even see that
you guys,
yeah, I did not see that at any point.
As you guys march out, you hear little contented animal noises to your left, and you look in and you see not only the bear, but you also see Buart scratching and making the bear feel well tended to, and
Oh, that's sweet.
appropriate in its measure of care. And you can detect, looking in, that this bear normally stays within this cavern here, unless for some reason, somehow, Buart recognizes that there's a potential client coming in to see Wrath Hunter.
So we were protected from the bear? Is that what you're saying?
No,
Because-
what I'm saying is that you had no clue about this because you did not explore.
No.
in there.
The second that
So-
we knew there were traps, I think we all just like hunkered down and were like, let's get through this as quick as possible and not kill ourselves.
All that you guys managed to do was not to trigger
The bear
this
trap.
potential bear dropping down on you. And looking into the room, considering the fact that the bear more than likely knows that you're there anyways, and how docile it is, it probably wouldn't have done anything to you anyways if it had dropped on you. Much like the rest of the traps have been so far.
They've been beneficent traps, benign, or possibly beneficial. Yeah. Wow. Now I really want to hear, like, if there was a backstory moment we could get where Wrath Hunter interviewed Buart, like, hey, I need somebody that'll lay some traps for my incoming customers. And Buart had to, like, lay out his idea of what the, what the approach to the forge would look like. Be like, oh, I've got some great ideas, boss. What a fucking weirdo. I swear to God. Fantastic, though. I love it. That's great. Okay, so we can see this, and Buart hasn't detected that we're peeking in, presumably?
No, he knows that you're there.
Oh, okay. And
Both him and presumably Ubarn knows that you're there.
Okay, and he's unbothered. He hasn't detected or is unbothered by our efforts to barricade the door and block his tunnel. Like, he doesn't seem put out.
He's not bothered from what you can see, and at stroking the bear, he lifts one hand, looks directly at you, and gives a small little wave with
Yeah.
a big smile on his face. And you can presume that this is not the first time he's been locked out due to his his welcoming of strangers.
He's such a fucker that this is normal for him. That's great.
So yeah, and presumably with your party being a little put out, you march away and progress back down south.
All right. Okay. All right. That tells me if we ever do come back this way, Buart is still going to be around, and we're still going to have to deal with him. That little munchkin. What a little scamp.
Okay. So let's see here. You guys march. Oh wow. Good thing that was just to see what happens. You march on down south, and as you travel, you have not reached Mantle Dareth yet, but in your travel, you do come across this little side tunnel, and from it, you detect some noises coming down the tunnel, humanoid in nature, and interspersed in those noises, you hear some squeaking as well.
Squeaking? Like squeaky wheel? Squeaking animal?
A squeaking animal-like noise.
Okay, no
It's-
bagpipes.
No.
Might be
So-
bats.
So, like I said, you're down the main tunnel. You're on the way back to Mantle Dareth, and down one of the side tunnels, you happen to hear these humanoid and animal voices.
Okay. Can we stealthily creep up to a point where we can see who's speaking? And would that
Sure.
require a roll?
Yeah, give me a roll.
Who's got the best stealth roll? I'm at a +1.
I have a neutral roll with disadvantage because I wear big armor.
Oh, I also wear big armor. I forgot about that. I'm also at a disadvantage. Futon?
Yeah, I can,
Futon.
go
You might be the
stealth.
best
I
bet
give you
regardless of
guidance
your
whether
bonus.
you want it or not.
You've
Even
got
if you're
ale.
not gonna stealth, you've got guidance.
You've got guidance. Damn.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. You very stealthily scrape down the little side tunnel, and you, hugging against the curb of the tunnel, look into this larger cavern, and you see that gathered around this very low campfire that does not give very much light outside of what you're normally used to with the moss and the mushrooms. And gathered around it are a bunch of these little blue humanoids, very small and with very little facial or up hair and rags, and amongst them you see a gathering of rats and above them bats as well.
I'm not sure we can trust Futon to be rational around rats, but okay. Oh,
And you
I
see-
forgot about his special little rat. Okay, never mind. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm talking out of turn. My mistake.
And like I said, you see 3 different humanoids. You do not know of any kind of race. You could give me some kind of roll to see if you do know of them, based on whatever kind of roll you want to do. But looking at them, you see that there's 3 of them. They're really tiny. They have these like very scrunched up faces, big noses. And they're just sitting there around their little fire, interacting, talking to each other, giving small pets to their rats, tossing up a few crumbs up to their bat friends above them as well.
Well, Futon, what do you think?
Doesn't even me.
Well, I mean, you're the one who stealthed his way up there. I think that it's me and Vrisdan, I imagine, are hanging a little bit further back down the tunnel.
You don't want to disturb them. They're fine doing their own things.
Do we need to go past them to get where we're going?
No, you were on the main tunnel. This is a little side tunnel.
Oh, okay. And we can't hear them, or we can hear that they're talking, but we can't decide. We can't pick out what they're hearing, what they're saying.
Futon can hear them, but it is in a language that he is not known. That he knows.
Shit. I bet this is a Vrisdan thing, isn't it?
Actually, give me a history roll, Futon. With the 7,
It's a D+ history.
with the 7, I will say that you vaguely recall hearing this language, but you don't know where or when. But you feel that it was somewhat recently.
If I go back and I explain sort of language type that I heard.
Okay. Let me see here.
With the intention of seeing
Like
if one of us
It
recognizes
seems like he's trying to
Yeah.
like explain it. Give me a performance check.
Let's see how good of an actor Futon is. Oh, pretty good.
With that, I say that you are well enough in your technique to mimic the sounds that you heard, and with that, please give me a history roll between the two of you.
Okay. Goji's gonna recognize it as ancient Klingon.
When you say the two, you mean me
Yes,
and
you-
Goji?
you-
Yeah. 6
and
for
Goji.
me, not so hot.
Guidance in my ass.
Damn.
Wow. With that, you recognize that this is the same language that the drow at the little creek cavern that you fought him in with
Ah.
right before the Dark Lake, where he turned back to the tunnel and summoned 2 demons. This is the same language.
Where our friendly drow collapsed the tunnels. That area?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
So, likewise, this is not a language that you know, but you recognize it to be the same one.
Hmm.
So, presumably, this has something to do with demons
That group
in
of
some form or manner.
drow, yeah. I mean, does it make sense for the 3 of us to risk, now that we know that it's a language that's relevant to the mystery we're dealing with, does it make sense for the 3 of us to try to creep down the hallway and, if nothing else, at least observe these beings, if not interact with them directly? I imagine any interaction would be combat. I can't imagine they're gonna like talk to us. But I'm like, Goji's like, oh, let's find out more. Unless she's overruled, like unless you guys both want to vote that we just back out of here and continue on the path we were already going.
You can attempt to have a seat.
All right, here it comes. Goji stealth roll.
Oh, okay.
Vrisdan is gonna walk alongside Goji. Not stealth.
Okay. So that's basically what happened right there. You practically announced your entrance.
With a big horn
You walk
fanfare?
down. Yeah, you walk down the tunnel. You try to be stealthy, but along the way you keep bumping your chest piece's shoulder piece against the wall, giving off enough of a noise to where you hear all conversation within the cavern stop.
Vrisdan whistles. All right.
And they all turn to you as you enter, and you see these 3. Okay. You see these 3 little humanoids turn to you, and at the same time, the rats and bats look to you as well. None of them actively moving towards you. And the biggest one of the 3, which is not saying much because they're all of a very small stature, at the most the biggest one reaching Goji's knees. And the biggest one addresses Vrisdan as the following.
Just to be clear, Vrisdan says that before he can really fully see him. Obviously, he would not say that if he could see, what they were. He doesn't look at these people who are mega short and say, "Oh, you guys little, or what's up?"
When you say that, they look at you in confusion and say further.
God, what are they speaking? They ain't Underdarklings.
As you keep speaking, they keep looking at you in confusion, and
Okay, what if I try to speak what I know and see if they know it? Does that...
Go ahead. The one furthest back from you starts to edge away, kind of like looking between all 3 of you, and his own compatriots and like becoming a little nervous.
This isn't making sense to me at all.
When you do that, the one at the furthest back stops moving, realizing that it's been noticed, and there's been no further motion from the other two. The rats begin to just like hover around the legs of these little creatures. Okay, the closest one, it draws its little short sword, and the two further ones unsling their slings but make no motion further than that. And while they do that, you can see that the rats begin to have their hackles rise up, and the bats begin to flap their wings aggressively.
I mean, out of character, Goji doesn't like this at all. They were speaking the same language as the group that attacked us before the tunnels were closed around us. Here it is. We've encountered a bunch of little guys with bats and rats. They don't seem to understand what we're saying. Kind of feels like a clear situation where it's like, let's kill them and see if they have anything interesting on them, anything useful on them. I don't know.
Well, right now, this group is not making aggressive motions toward you outside of preparing themselves. So
Yeah. So presumably, if we were to back off and go back the way we came, they would de-aggro and just sit back down.
Mm-hmm. That's what I recommended.
Between them and all their pets, how many are we looking at?
you're looking at 3 humanoids. You're seeing 4 rats and 3 bats.
If
And
they were,
I'm sorry, I did not hear if you said this. Are they're normal sized rats and
They-
bats?
They are normal sized. Yes.
Oh,
if they
okay.
were Underdark gnomes, would we recognize them as such?
You would be able to
Vrisdan
tell
looked
if
like
they
one.
were. Yeah.
So so that means that they're not. The fact that we can't tell.
You can definitely tell that they are not. Snivellbines or the deep gnomes are a much bigger race than these.
Gosh, these guys are tiny then.
Yeah, they reach up to your
Mhm.
your knee.
Okay, kind of feels shitty to smash them then. Well, what do you think?
Vrisdan does not feel the same.
Vrisdan wants to smash.
No, Vrisdan does not feel particularly violent right now, but he's not opposed to it just because of their stature.
Stature, okay. All right. That's a distinction.
Sometimes people gotta get their
XP.
beatings.
I mean, it seems like Futon is in favor of retreating, and it seems like Vrisdan isn't necessarily in favor of violence at this moment, so I think Goji can get those vibes and understand that she needs to back off. So if the party wants to back off, she'll back off too. It just feels like a hint of a clue of the mystery that we're dealing with, and that's what tempts her to start smashing. But
Yeah, Vrisdan
Yeah,
will
but-
just sort of slow walk backwards. He won't look away from them like
Okay.
you do with big
Same.
cats.
Goji does the same.
I'm not sure
Okay.
what you would unravel by smashing them up.
Maybe they've got something cool, like some cool message that we can decode or something.
Free pet rats. That doesn't
Free
appeal.
pet rats! Although we'd probably have to kill the rats in the process of liberating the rats.
We
but
could. We could charm them.
I believe the rats would greet us as liberators.
Exactly.
All hail our conquering heroes.
Mhm.
Emphasis on the conquering. Anyway, So you all back up and leave the cavern to the devices of these strange little humanoids, and you turn around and go back to Mantle Dareth, correct?
Yes.
Mhm.
Those little freaks
Alrighty.
live to see another day.
Yeah, for now. So let's see here.
Generally speaking, I feel like we're a very non-violent crew. Like maybe I don't know what it's like in your average D&D campaign, but we've gone out of our way to avoid smashing things when we don't need to smash them, which I think is commendable.
I'm very proud of you guys.
Thanks.
Here we go. Now let's see how I can. So this is what you were looking at.
Oh, those little guys. Yeah, actually, now that I'm looking at them, I definitely would have smashed those things if I'd seen them.
Yeah, for sure. There's still time. We can go back.
No, it's
We
fine.
walked away. We can buff.
Oh man, that
No,
sounds
we
like
can get
some
back in there.
serious fourth wall right there.
No.
So you guys each earn
By avoiding our darkest impulses, we've leveled up.
25 XP.
Bam! Level 3, baby. Oh no, we're still short.
What are you talking about?
I thought we were 25 away. I thought that's okay. Never mind.
Okay, so anyway, back to the actual game.
Yes.
You all travel back to Mental Dareth, and you progress. I assume you don't stop to buy or look at anything, and
I don't
progress
need to,
down
no.
to the. And you progress down to the southern exit, back to where you came through before. You find that as you pass through the previously, glowing barrier that you came across, it is there again, but you're able to pass through without issue. And as you turn, like I would imagine one of you tested, you see that it is solid once more, presumably closing off access unless the password is given.
Okay.
And you progress on through back down the tunnels and reach
Can we?
back
Sorry,
to.
I'm sorry. Just to interrupt. Can we test it with the same password we used to get in the first time? If Goji says guild, the door disappears again.
You say guild, and the barrier recedes once more to
Okay.
the sides of the wall.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know. I didn't know if the password reset when somebody accessed it. Cool. All right, good to know.
And you progress down back the tunnels and reach the beach side once more at the dock. And you do not find a ferryman Kuotoa there waiting for you. And presumably you ring the mechanism to summon the ferry.
Pull that rope, baby.
Pull that rope. And once more, you wait and wait and wait. And finally, you see the Kuotoa pulling his ferry service down the lakeside and reaches you. And you see it is the same. And you see it is the same Kuotoa that brought you here, which is the former the later of the Kuotoa firm. It's not
Oh,
Laguma
it's not our buddy.
that you first met. No, you took a
Rats.
different one.
Oh, okay.
This is this Kuotoa's specific route.
Okay, got it.
So you take his ferry. Now the question is, how do you reach back to the Kuotoa village? Do you pay him, or do you try to attempt your little cheat again?
Well, I was going to say, since we got about 40 minutes left and Futon just stepped away, do we want to take a short break and then come back and figure out our conveyance method after like 5 minutes?
Yeah, we can do that.
Oh, sure.
Okay. All right. Then let's pause and meet back in 5, or does somebody need longer than that?
5's good.
5's good.
No, I said that in Abyssal. Oh wait, did I say that?
Oh man. Okay, back in 5.
Mm-hmm.
So we left off with you at the dock of the ferry and deciding on what you're gonna do to gain passage to the Kuotoa village, presumably to get another ferry. Will you be paying, or will you try deception once more?
Oh my god, we deceived this guy previously?
Oh, you totally did.
I mean, I did just give up a bunch of gold to Wrath Hunter.
You did. Out of the sheer goodness of your own heart.
Yeah, she was a sucker. That was a touching moment.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
It
it
was
makes
sweet.
you feel better. You got tokens out of it.
True. That's true. Let's try to deceive this guy. What the hell?
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Give me a deception roll.
Who's doing the talking?
All of us, or
I would assume Vrisdan, considering that he's the
Oh,
only
that's
one that can speak
true. I'm
Undercommon.
the only one who's got
Yeah.
the language. Sorry, I'm typing. Typing
Go
up a
ahead.
big message for him again.
I mean, that's a look everybody knows. Are you trying to deceive or intimidate this fool?
You know.
Bit of
little
flexibility.
column A,
That's
little
the other.
column B.
Yeah, whichever works.
Give
The
me
roll's the
whichever
same for
roll
you
that you
there,
want.
so I'm doing
Yeah, give me a roll on either one.
I
of
think the
those.
intimidation is a side effect. So
A
we'll do-
side effect.
Yeah.
Is there?
of course-
Does? Oh my god!
The Kuotoa, who had already been kneeling and bowing to your first part of the message, fringes a little at the very back end of it and gives very fast nods in their kneeling position, and promptly stands back up and beckons you all onto his ship to be ferried across to the Kuotoa village.
So, before we move on, just a couple of like rule questions. Does 5e have an assistance mechanic? Like obviously, if Vrisdan's trying to, obviously the 20 roll was fantastic, but if Vrisdan was trying to intimidate, could like Futon and I stand behind Vrisdan with our arms crossed, looking all badass, and add to his roll with maybe like, a half or a quarter of what our intimidation roll would have been? Is there a mechanic for that or no?
I would have to look into the rules themselves, but if you were to do that, I would probably give him a +2 for each of you
Oh, okay.
for that roll,
Okay.
or I would just determine that he has advantage.
Okay. And then the other question I have...
But yes,
oh,
I imagine
sorry, go
that
ahead.
there is such a rule. I would have to look into it. Though.
It would be the help action, which gives advantage.
Okay.
Yeah, then
The
yeah,
The
you would get
other
advantage.
question I was going to ask, you'd have to scroll up in the chat some, and I'm trying to determine where, because at a certain point, so it's when we were rolling for strength checks, Vrisdan and Futon both rolled, and in the chat it says that they rolled a check on their strength. When I rolled, it says
Yeah,
I
I
rolled
think
a
you just
save.
clicked the wrong thing, bud.
So what did I do wrong
Did you-
there?
So when you're looking at your character sheet,
Yep.
in the main tab where your stats are, on the
Yep.
left it says abilities, on the right it says saves. Did you just click on the save instead of the ability?
I saw the +6 for strength, and I thought that's my roll. I didn't. Okay, I didn't click on ability.
Yeah,
I
that's
clicked on
your roll
save.
for saving throws. As a fighter, I think you've got proficiency in that, so
plus-
that was adding the.
Okay, I
Yeah.
would have otherwise had a +4 instead of a +6. Okay, I was wondering what I did differently, and now I understand. Okay, thank you.
You essentially
problem.
made yourself look more uber than you actually were.
I did, and I still only got I only
And you
got a
still
10
wrecked
out of
face.
it. Yeah.
Um,
That's when we were
okay.
trying to lift the bench. That's what that was. Yeah.
yeah.
That sucked. How embarrassing.
So the ferryman Kuotoa turns the ship around and carries you back to the Kuotoa village, and you see the previously seen visage of the Dark Lake, the same islands as before. The lake is still just as black as before. And I assume there's more Dwarven Pirate songs going on while you're traveling. And finally you reach the village once more, and there it is. And you disembark, and the Kuotoa behind you just keeps bowing and thanking you for his service to his god.
Goji's
And
gonna
all
toss him a
praise
gold
Umgalo.
piece as a tip.
And he skips even more and does mid-air bow jumps.
God. This guy's-
Vrisdan also gives him a gold by dropping it into the bottom of the boat as he steps off.
You dick.
It's like, I can't appear nice.
Yeah, it's pinched between his forefinger and his thumb, and he doesn't even look back as he just drops it.
How very nobleman of you.
Vrisdan would certainly agree that is the position he was made for.
So
Evil, powerful, what more could you ask for?
not much.
It's the drow
You got the whole
dream.
package.
Triple threat.
So you disembark and you look around. It's the same Kuotoa village as before. You look at the docks available and you see that they are, once more, only 2 Kuotoas available. The one that you just disembarked and one other who's actually Legume, the first Kuotoa
Yay!
you met. And surprisingly, he's not at the same dock as before. He's at a different one, at a dock to your right, which is odd considering that he already had his own ferry route.
He got transferred.
Maybe he got a promotion.
Was it our
Off of
fault?
Our
Did we do something
recommendation.
Yeah. Oh, let's go talk to him.
Okay.
Okay. You march on over, and as he's over there managing his little ferry, he's boosting it up, you see that it is, in fact, a different ferry from the one that he had. This one's much nicer. The boards fit together a bit more than
We got our
previously.
boy the promotion.
In fact, the little donation bottle that he has to the side has less trash and more bones, better suiting to his new station. And he hears your steps upon his own dock, and he turns, and you can see whatever recognition you can make of the facial features of this fish face. The closest approximation that you recognize as a smile, and he's very happy at your approach.
Oh man, I mean, I'm happy for the guy, but I'm also bummed out because when we do bring gay space communism to the Underdark, his promotion's gonna be worthless.
It will be worth it to the cause.
That's true. He better hope that he's still one of the proles by the time we get our revolution off here, though.
Oh, yeah. If he's managing other people's routes, it's over.
He's first against the wall.
Oh, he spoke to me. I'm sorry, I was not reading the chat.
We were too busy fucking around.
Yeah, guys, keep your fantasies in this fantasy game under control.
Message sent.
Oh, sorry.
Hope we get a couple good head smackings against the floor at some point. That's what I live for from this guy.
All right, what do y'all want to know? He does have a new route.
Is it the route to the Durgar city? Part of the fun of this language function is having one character be able to understand other characters don't, and then part of the fun is when you are somebody that doesn't understand, asking a question and forcing another player to have to type out a question and then forcing the GM to type out an answer. It's
You wanted to talk to this NPC, but I have to write the essay.
it's a
back.
really enjoyable
Honestly, I wouldn't
experience.
make you do
It's
it.
pretty funny. I almost made a comment when you said let's go talk to him too. I was like, oh, you mean let's go Vrisdan talk to him?
Let's go have Max
to
type
be
at
fair,
him.
I wouldn't make you do it. If you really wanted to, I could just have you say it, and I would respond into chat.
No,
So
that's fine. This is fun. I
this is
enjoy
more
it.
of a flavor thing for you guys.
Yeah.
I do
Oh,
very
sure.
much like the opportunity to flex my language. It's very fun.
Yep. And
I can
honestly,
guarantee
having
you,
it
it makes me laugh every single time you do.
hearing.
I forget.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm gonna type it. Adam, do you understand this?
No.
Hearing.
I didn't type it yet.
Oh, I thought you meant what was being written.
Sorry.
Hearing the player character's translation
No. Okay. And
is a lot
Goji,
of
you
the
don't
fun.
understand that
I
either,
do. I
right?
do not know. It's all Greek.
Okay.
But hearing the player character's translation of it has made for a lot of fun moments, like when we the very first session when we were captured in the slave pens, and Vrisdan went and talked to other people, and then came back, and we were like, "So what's the deal?" And he just goes, "We're slaves now." Like it had been.
Yeah, that was good.
It had been
That was hilarious.
like 10 minutes of conversations, and he distilled it to 3 words, and it was perfect. It was so good.
That was very good.
Mm-hmm.
You know what my favorite part was so far? It was the part where we first met Legume, and Max is over there like, "What's the best route to the surface?" In that language.
He said
my
up.
I knew it. I
Just
heard
go
it
up.
coming before you did anything.
That was the best part so far, for me, anyways.
It seems like he does go to the Durgar city.
That's my boy. That's Legume. Never lets you down, baby. All right. Will he ferry us there at a charge? Do we try to intimidate and/or deceive him, or do we just cut the guy some slack and pay him his fare?
We can pay him.
Yeah, I mean, we can afford it, I think.
Yeah. There's only 1 gold, isn't it?
Well, there have been 1 gold tips, because so far every place he's taken us has been free of charge. Except the original ride to the Kuatoa village, which I think was 5 gold apiece.
And he might have increased it again now.
That's true, now that he got
Typing that at the
promoted.
same time that you were typing yours.
But I think Goji is the most hard up for cash, just because she paid 20 for the ink and then tipped 20 for the...
Yeah, do you even have
Clever.
any money left?
I have 26, so I feel like...
you were flush.
Well, I feel like if I'm flush, everybody else must be super flush, right? Because we all had pretty close to even amounts. No?
I had less money than you if you paid that much and you have that much left.
Got
Not by a large
58.
amount, and Vrisdan is not particularly stingy with it.
Maybe I had the wrong number in or something. I'm not sure.
It could be, you might just start with more as like a fighter or whatever than I do, or...
I do remember in the first session having to rewrite my gold amount because I had like 120 by default, and I was like, that can't be right.
No, I fixed that for everybody.
Okay.
Since then, it's been however you guys managed your money.
Okay, so I'm not wrong when I say I have 26 gold.
Yeah. It is double price now on this route because there are 2 ferries instead of just 1 that go there.
10 per?
10 ahead, yep.
Yeah, I can afford that. Let's pay him. I don't want to fuck this guy.
I already asked him to do it for free.
Oh.
Well, it wasn't much of an
Outsiders.
ask. It was a soft demand, actually.
And he said no.
He did not respond yet.
Oh.
Left on red.
Yeah.
Left on red.
He's ghosting me in real life.
Yeah, that's exactly
He
what
just-
Turned around.
He just fucking looks away.
Pretends he didn't hear it.
Well, okay, yeah. He hears your words and he looks to the side, giving you that one side fisheye, and he's expecting a deception roll.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah, it works.
Deceived as hell.
And once you make that demand, that soft demand, he immediately gives us a bow, not from the dock, but from his ship. And as he gives his bow, quickly and without thought, he smacks his head against the deck.
Yeah.
And he does it 2 more times.
Oh,
Of course, he
love
would
this
do
guy.
so for his god. And as he's done bowing, and you somehow see upon his little scaly fish head a reddening, you are beckoned to board the ferry.
All right. Goji's gonna tip him in advance so she doesn't forget when he drops us off. So 1 gold piece just tossed right into his hands.
You get a skip for that gold piece.
Goody.
And he proceeds to push his ferry off the dock, and you progress westward along the middle of the Dark Lake. And as you progress, you see that the islands receding from you on the north side, and on the left towards the south, you only see the wall progressing along your own route. And as you travel, he informs you that because the fact of the route requiring an increased amount of gold, the reason being that there are 2 ferries, this one leading to an island in the middle of the lake, and from there you need to disembark, as there is dangerous water around the lake itself, the island itself, not permitting from this side to reach the other side of this not large, but long island. And on the other side of the island is where you would find the other dock. And from there, you would be taken to the closest dock available to the Duergar city of I forgot the name. Graxtel. And so you progress and you finally reach the one end of the island that he was speaking of, and he beckons you to disembark and actually follows you as he will be taking you on to the other side. And as you follow him, he does mention that because of the nature of this route, it is expected that each passenger is capable of protecting not only themselves but their ferryman, as this is a common place to encounter crocodiles.
Oh,
And as he tells you this, you look
what the
forward
fuck kind
and
of
you
crazy
happen to
business
see.
case is this? Hey, yeah,
You
I'll
happen to
ferry you
see-
across, but there's gonna be crocodiles, and if I die, you guys are up shit creek.
Yeah, well, here's Shit Creek because there's 2 crocodiles right in your path.
Oh wait, so just to be clear, have we gotten on the boat yet, or the crocodiles are blocking us from the boat?
You just disembarked from the first boat, and
Yeah.
you're making your way to the second boat, and in between you and that second boat is 2 crocodiles.
All right, if we let Legume die, this campaign is over, you guys.
That's the same as a TPK. We lost.
He
Bad
must
ending,
survive.
Chief.
Oh my god.
So, like I said, you're on this island that's long in its form. It's more like a sandy top of the bottom of the lake, rising
Okay.
up enough to allow a crossing across from these turbulent waters. And along this little sand bridge is these 2 crocodiles that are just relaxing, taking a break from their swimming and hunting, presumably taking whatever small, meager ambient warmth that is derived from the light that is provided by the moss from the roof of the sea of this very large cavern. You can see that in your path there is very little to no maneuverability on the crocodiles. So you must either fight these crocodiles or figure some means to drive them off or persuade them to leave you alone.
Just straight into initiative.
And
Yep,
straight
we're
up in the
fighting these
initiative.
motherfuckers. Fucking
Okay.
crocodiles. From the second that
So-
we showed up at the Dark Lake, I was like, crocodiles? Oh my god, I can't wait.
So here's my question, and you're welcome, by the way.
hmm
Here's my question: do you want to do this fight now or next time?
I'll leave it to the rest of the group because Adam is dealing with the late hours of being in the UK.
Should be fine.
Okay. If everybody's cool with
Okay.
it, I'm fine with doing it this session. It's up to you guys.
Crocodile.
It's just 2 crocodiles. How
Yeah,
long can
something
it take?
How
Well,
long could
well,
it
no,
possibly
but
take?
wait. Something to remember is, assuming that we win this fight, we'll probably be leveling up at the end, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is another probably 10 minutes of fucking around, and then me not saving, and then like, oh, what did I do wrong?
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
it
I
might be-
won't.
it'd
I
be-
won't disagree with you there,
Yeah.
but
I should be okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I should be able to do it in a
All
few
right.
minutes, and then if I need to leave, I'll leave while you.
Like, fuck this, I'm going to bed. Pen, when you figure this out, message me. Okay. All right, we're all on board. We all rolled
all right.
initiative.
Let me see here.
What does crocodile initiative look like?
I would figure that out as soon as I figure out what map I want to use.
So the ones we're fighting are the ones on the bank there?
Yeah, fuck these guys.
Okay.
Wait,
Alright.
what image are you looking at?
I'm not looking at any image. I just
Oh,
meant
okay.
the ones you described.
Oh, yeah.
Two of
Okay, I wasn't sure if those ones were like chill, pacifist observers, and there was some in the water waiting to get us.
them. Yeah, there's
Alright,
there's
how-
different
what's
factions
our-
of crocodile.
Yeah, before we row past them, like while we're, when we see them, and before we get close enough to start the fight, Vrisdan will ask, "What's our plan? Are we like getting out of the boat,
I
getting
mean,
on
we're
land, and
already
giving
out
them
of the
the
boat,
beatdown?"
right?
Or
Like
oh, yeah.
we had to walk across the sandbank to get
Mhm.
to the other boat. I thought.
Oh, duh. That is
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, and
My
that's where
brain
we
is-
No, I'm
encountered the
sorry.
Crocs.
That was probably my fault.
No, that was on me.
Yeah, that was on
By the
Max.
sound of it.
I
Koji
totally
Okay,
understood.
whoa. Hey, all
Look,
right, you're
as
not getting any guidance next session.
as somebody who's totally been responsible for making Mike repeat stuff that he's already clearly spoken out, I feel like I have to take advantage when somebody else does the same thing. Yeah, I imagine that there's different factions of crocodiles, and some group is like, wait, hang on, we're the peaceful crocodiles, but they never actually get hurt out because they instantly get smashed to shit by whatever adventurers encounter them,
Yeah.
because of course crocodiles are violent creatures you don't want to encounter.
I mean, you guys want to hear something kind of dark?
Sure.
I've seen a
Yeah,
video
let's go
of
for it.
two crocodiles. Okay, so I saw a video the other day of some guy like dressed up in a little crocodile costume, and he was going up to real crocodiles, like obviously in a pen
Mhm.
sort of situation, and like just fucking them and poking them, and the crocodile was like, "I don't want anything to do with this. Goodbye."
Get away from me. Yeah.
Yeah, and people are like, "That's very cute," but crocodiles absolutely do fight each other. You're not
Yeah.
disguised and getting. And then after that, someone posted a video of a crocodile death rolling another crocodile's arm off.
Ripping their
And
arms
the one
off.
who lost,
Yeah.
who lost was like, well, that fucking sucks. Bye. He just walked away like it was
He's
fine.
just like, I lost an arm.
I'm not. I respect our D&D characters immensely because I'm not fighting 100 million years of evolution.
Yeah. That's why
Rock takes any
when
fight, I'm not even. That's a no-sell.
when we first appeared in the Dark Lake and Mike was like, "Oh, and by the way, there's some crocodiles down by the shore," I was like, "Holy fucking shit, that's the craziest goddamn thing I've ever heard." Because they're incredibly it's like fighting giant spiders, like, "Oh yeah, that sounds horrible," and whatever. But if you said like, "Hey, there's a crocodile near you," I'd be like, "Well, this is the end of this campaign because I'm dead."
Yeah.
Anyway, in this particular instance, I feel like we got the drop on them.
These crocodiles have no idea what they're about to
They don't know.
you know.
They don't know that we know they're deadly, so that we're amped up and they're
that shit's getting staved in, man.
yeah, they're in there resting like, "Oh, let's just sun ourselves here on the sandbank by these glowing mushrooms, absorb what heat we can," and we're like, "We're gonna fuck you up," like we're Vikings coming up on them.
Okay. Let's see.
Oh, I don't like that 20. Oof. Okay. I was kind of hoping we'd have one of them dead before any of them got to act, but sure. Ooh.
Did you want to do because combat hasn't started yet. You want to do bless first or no?
I'm gonna ask the group. Are we all just gonna run in and run hands with crocodiles face to face? Does someone have some sort of clever scheme here?
Goji has no clever scheme, but if somebody
I did not
restrains
expect
her and says, "Hey, wait a second, you crazy psycho, let me do some prep," then she would wait. That
Well, yes,
said,
let me do some prep then. At
we
least.
have to protect this Kuatoa because he is the cutest little guy.
That is true. So, I would love to cast Bless on you all, or
Mhm.
actually, I would love to cast Bane on them because I bet
Oh,
it's a Charisma save, and it does the opposite effect of Bless, right? So they have a lower
Yeah.
chance to hit.
yeah.
They've got lower
Yep.
on their saving throws, and you have to make a Charisma saving throw or be affected by Bane. You guys
And
played. Baldur's
They
Gate,
don't
you know.
have charisma, these two.
I
'cause
bet
they're-
alligators don't have a great charisma.
No,
And I feel like Bane on them would maybe be better than Bless on us.
that's probably fair.
However,
I mean, you
Yeah.
say
As
that,
a-
but that croc on the right is looking kind of charming to me.
I mean, it's
He's got
possible.
he's got a glint in his eye.
He does. He does.
He's handsome.
That croc just.
He looks
watched
like he's
photos.
going.
He's
"Ha,
full.
cha, cha, cha,
of
cha,
spirit.
cha."
My brain. Oh yeah, so I could do Bane. However, as a war domain cleric, I do get divine favor, which gives me an extra 1d4 damage. And boy, golly gee, I do love doing damage. You see,
Follow your heart.
I think my heart is wrong. Is the thing. I think Bane
It sounds
seems
like a
the
drow
team
to me,
player
man.
kind of option.
You know what? I'll tell you this. As much as I just said we have to protect Legume, if one of us is about to be dragged under the water by a croc, we just throw Legume to the crocs and then we all run away.
I can steer the boat. I'm
Yeah,
confident in one of our abilities. To steer
We
the
know
boat.
our directions. If we get in the boat and just go, I think we can find the Duergar city.
We didn't even pay him. It's not like we're losing out on money from his corpse.
I did tip him,
We're
but if he
fine.
dies, we can loot his corpse. So,
Well, not if the gators get his corpse. is
oh,
the
true.
thing.
Don't be in this little jar.
We are the most black-hearted, evil people.
Okay, yeah. In that case, I'm gonna do divine favor on myself,
All right.
Cool.
and I don't think there's any other setup that I need to do.
What the hell? Like the entire idea of Dungeons and Dragons is insane. Just letting people be their most psychopathic.
Okay, go
He
on.
went straight for damage. Oh,
Well,
which one of us is?
Yeah, yeah.
I thought he was like fuck attack rolls. Okay, I'm eating you. I'm a crocodile.
Wait. Sorry, so Vrisdan has to roll what?
No, nobody has.
No one has to roll it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The croc was rolling. Well, Tanom was saying to which one of you. Oh, my brain. Oh my god. Tanom was rolling, I assume, to see which one of you two crocodile
target.
is about to gore.
Got it. Okay.
There we go. Trying to
Okay.
remember how to fucking do this.
Ooh, that's a nice looking die. Oh shit.
It's,
Oh, dude, I can handle that shit.
Okay.
It's fine. I'm good. Oh, grappled. Wait, what does that
He
mean?
got you.
Let me
Oh,
see.
no.
It means if we have to leave, I'm dropping you. Sorry. I'm not prying
Okay.
you out of a crocodile.
Legume is now a party member.
Okay, so if you want to not be grappled, which
Yep.
means that you wouldn't be taking disadvantage anymore, you would have to do an escape of DC 12 on your turn.
Okay.
Okay, so
Oh, let me pull up
That's
the
its turn.
combat tracker. I don't have that up right now. There we go. There we go.
and it's Futon's turn.
I guess as soon as the crocodiles walked up and took a bite out of Goji, I'll try and free her with my sword. Yeah.
That
Damn.
hits.
I wasn't targeting.
That's fine. Okay. And that's it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's a nasty look. Crawling towards you.
Youchie.
Well, at least you
Oh, nice.
You're
I forgot I
concent-
make that automatically.
You're concentrating well in its mouth.
Sure. Nothing will distract me, not even losing an arm. Death roll me all you want.
Goji, it's your turn.
Okay.
I mean,
I believe he has to escape first, correct? If he wants to attack.
Well,
don't
you
know.
said what you said was if I wanted to attack as I am now, I'd have to attack with disadvantage.
Oh no,
But-
no, no! You would be taking attack rolls with disadvantage. Like if somebody attacked you, they would have advantage on you.
Oh, I see. So,
Now,
okay.
what I don't remember is whether or not you have to escape grappled to be able to attack efficiently.
I'm gonna say that character-wise, Goji is not cool with being grappled and bitten by a crocodile, so she would try to de-grapple regardless of what the
Okay.
mechanics say.
Okay, go ahead and give me a d20 roll for. Let's see here. It just says a DC 12, so if you want to add in any kind of modifiers, you can. Roll a strength roll
Say
if you wanted to do.
athletics, or
If
oh
you
yeah,
want to,
or
yeah,
strength.
yeah,
Okay, no, I think strength is more appropriate.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And I won't use the save. I'll use the I'll use the actual ability. God, dude, what the fuck? So many
Okay,
fucking
so-
ones.
That was your check. So if you want, I will let you attack, but you'll have disadvantage.
I mean, my alternative is just continue to be bitten by a crocodile. So
Yeah. I mean, you're still going to be in its mouth. It's just that you won't have any kind of like leverage in your
Yeah,
swing.
okay.
So go ahead
Alright.
and give me an attack roll with disadvantage.
Okay, 1 second. Disadvantage. Let's see if this takes.
Yep, 14 hits.
Okay, so that would be regular damage for my awesome new modified club.
Damn. So that was the first one. It's looking kind of rough now. Vrisdan, it is your turn.
Oh boy. All right, I'm also grappled. Do I do the same? Thing?
If you, as a cleric, if you wanted to do a spell, I would not make you do a disadvantage roll if you wanted to do there. If you want to escape, you can do a check.
Okay. Well, would I still be able to attack after the check, like
Yeah, yeah.
like Pam? Yeah. Okay. Well,
I'm
no
just
reason
I'm
not to
just
do
doing the
that.
check whether or not if you're gonna take a swing at it, it would be at disadvantage if you're still grabbed.
Oh sure. Yeah, why not?
Okay. Go ahead and give me a roll that you feel would be fair.
Oh, I just did a straight strength.
I don't think you have
I don't
any
think I
modifiers
have
for
any
strength
skills.
either.
I have a +2. I don't have any
Oh, you didn't.
strength skills, if that's what you mean.
Okay. No, that doesn't work. So, are you gonna take a swing or are you gonna cast a spell?
I'm taking a swing.
Roll with
taking
disadvantage.
Likely 2 swings.
That works.
I don't know if I click disadvantage and then I do the attack. Will it do the? Oh,
Yeah, it does.
Thank you.
That's how I
Well,
did it.
unfortunately.
Oh,
War priest time, baby. Bonus action attack too.
yeah.
Nope. No.
Nope.
it's a miss.
No.
Damn.
That's sorry, man. It is Legume's turn.
Legume, stay safe. Don't come forward. Stay back. We've got you. That's what Goji's shouting.
Well,
No!
he could. What? He's getting
Stay away. Stay away.
He could do a net, but what's the point with the alligators?
Damn.
Uh,
Legume is nobody to fuck with.
Now it's the alligator's turn.
Ugh.
And
Hope I
let's see
survive
here.
this.
Okay. So it's pretty hurt, and while it's grappling something, it cannot attack or bite something.
Mm.
And it doesn't have death roll mechanics on a normal crocodile. I don't know if it's different for a giant one. So since it's so hurt, I'm gonna say it's gonna let go of Goji and try to run away. And while it's doing that, that gives you and Futon the chance to do an opportunity attack.
Oh. Okay.
So go ahead and do that if you want to use your reaction.
Just a regular club attack then?
Mm-hmm. Or your fulminating great club, yeah.
Okay, hang on. Sorry, I don't think I updated my shortcuts, so I'm gonna have to pull up my character screen here. Character sheet, sorry.
Those both hit. Go ahead.
Doing it together.
The thing is flipping dead.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Wait, 13 was my damage roll?
Yeah,
Holy
dude, that was
shit.
with your lightning and your D8 from two-handed.
Okay. I mean, 8's impressive, Futon, but... 13.
It's your turn now, Futon.
Fuck that crocodile up!
You already did.
Fuck the other one up!
Yeah, I'll go around. Oh,
Oh, I'm sorry, I did not unlock that. There you go.
and attack this crocodile now.
No. It will let go of Vrisdan, but it will not run away.
Saw what
Oh, no,
happened
that's
to its
not-
buddy. Oh my
Yeah.
god!
That's not what I wanted. A 5. Okay. Vrisdan, it's gonna go after you.
Sure.
You're grappled again. Wow.
I'm
At
not
least
dropping
you're
that
concentrating
spell,
like a.
baby.
Okay. Goji, it is your turn.
Alright, I'm gonna straight up club this motherfucker to death.
Oof.
Presume a hit?
Yeah, that hits. Yeah, that's definitely a hit. And you kill it. You just gotten yourselves one mediocre set of gator boots and another one that's really charming. Okay, so you've managed to keep Legumis safe. Unfortunately,
Yay!
Vrisdan is near dead.
Vrisdan, you got
What do you
some
mean, you're
heals,
chilling?
right?
I'm fine.
Yeah, you're fine. It's
I'm good.
cool.
Am I unconscious?
You're-
I'm all right
no,
then.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're still standing. You're still
yeah,
standing.
Yeah, I'm good. I ain't hear no bell.
You're no bell.
Except I should have, because the opponents are all dead.
Okay, so you each earn 50 XP.
There we go, boys. Level up. Shall we do it now?
If you want to take the time to do it now, yeah.
It's up to all y'all.
Sure, hell yeah.
All right. Oh, I think this is going to require some reading.
Sounds to me like somebody that wasn't looking stuff up beforehand.
Nope, it was not looking things up.
How about
Champion,
how about
Battlemaster.
how about you take the next 2 weeks at least to think over what you want to specialize at?
Yeah, I think I'll just cancel out of this.
Oh yeah, you've got to do your subclass. Huh?
I've got to read subclass shit.
Mhm.
And I think I might just choose that between now and next time and let you guys
Well,
level up as normal.
Yeah,
Well,
let's
I think
just unless Futon already knows what he wants to do, let's just go ahead and leave that
Save
off
the
for
level up
next
for
time.
next time?
Okay. Yeah.
All right. I'm in favor of
I
that.
I need to look them up because I think I chose what to do before, but I forgot now.
Just to be clear, can I log into Fantasy Grounds and your campaign and level up independently, or do I need to wait until
I have to have it open, but
you
I'm
have?
willing
Okay.
to. I'm willing to at any time when I'm free to come on and
Okay.
keep it open if you choose to do that.
I mean, the
between
important
now
thing
and
is
then.
that we kept Legume alive. That
Yeah.
poor
You did that.
he stayed alive. We kept those Crocs away from him.
But yeah, if either any of you want to like log in at some point in the next 2 weeks and level up, just let me know and we'll try to figure that out.
Okay. Sounds good.
Thanks
I mean-
for the game session, guys. I thought it was pretty fun this time as well.
That was a
Very
good
good.
one.
Mhm.
Loved it. Fantastic.